6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, an increase in the cloud cover, chance of seeing showers and scattered thunderstorms ahead this afternoon into the low 80s. Showers and storms back with us tonight. Overnight low in the upper 50s to low 60s. Showers and storms with some heavy rain, especially across the north on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 3 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What ain't but one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Well, we all know the news of the day from yesterday, and now we all can make our plans for the wedding whenever we know what it is. Welcome into halftime, 11:01 in the morning on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, Clay Henry coming up in about an hour, and Grant Hall in 15 minutes. Well, we know it won't be a football season wedding, but it's kind of crazy. Matt, good morning to you. What a beautiful day it is. It's gorgeous. I wish we have this kind of weather all year long. Is this what it feels like to live in San Diego without the ocean and the beach? It's lovely outside today. Back to do the show outdoors.
Happy Wednesday, Phil. You can't afford it. Well, you might can afford it. You make a lot more money than I do, but that's the beauty of living in the River Valley and living in this area is it's only amazing for about 12 weeks of the year, and then you have those 100 days where you don't even want to go outside. They don't have that in San Diego, but they pay about 48%. Mm-hmm. They pay a lot more taxes than we pay here.
Yeah, it's a lovely place to visit. We're going to have to ask for some raises if we're going to move to San Diego and do this show focusing on Razorback athletics. That's right. I saw a video yesterday, Matt, from some university. I don't know which one it was. Maybe it was Tennessee, because a couple of the students that I saw were wearing bright orange Vols T-shirts. There was a professor. I guess I could have played the video that I saw on Twitter. There was a professor that was about to start class. It was one of those large classes, looks like a large
intro to philosophy,
something like that. Yes. Yeah. One of those large auditoriums with the big white screen behind him. Probably 250 students or something inside the class. Yeah. And and the first thing that the professor brings up is that we all know the news of the day, and it was about Tay and Travis, and he canceled class because of it. He said, we need time to digest this. He literally canceled class, and I don't know if it was the first or the second week of classes at Tennessee because it's still so early in the school year. But man, what a thing to know that if there's any kind of major news, you don't have to go to this guy's class anymore. It's an amazing day to be a student wherever this happened. And I wouldn't think that you would need a day to like digest all of this. Okay, two people that fell in love have decided to get married, and now my question would be, how long is the marriage going to last? Yeah, ask the divorced people that question, and we're going to come up with an answer that those who are lovey-dovey may not even have right now. But you have to be realistic about these things. Yeah, Sean Penn did not stay together with Madonna for too long, though I don't know if I'd say, is Sean Penn like the acting equivalent of Travis Kelce for tight ends? Is that going a little too heavy for Kelce in praise?
I think it's David Beckham and Victoria, Posh. I think that they might be real. Sean Penn was on Carson within 2 weeks or 2 months of when he had his wedding to Madonna, and to hear Carson talk about it and to hear them talk about like right then, and then I don't think they made it another 6 months after that. But yeah, that's what a wild time that was.
I think of I want to see Travis jumping up and down on a couch on a talk show very soon, because that basically signals the end of it, right? And when you're proclaiming your love to Oprah and jumping up and down on a couch, even when you're on top of the world, I would say that that is the end. Yeah, and Lee in Springdale actually texts in. This is perfect. It's DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe all over again.
Well, it's at the end. It's the end of his career. Kelce, this is Kelce's last dance. I watched a little bit of the Chicago Bulls' last dance yesterday, and I thought last year that was kind of going to be. He said he got his body a little bit more in shape, or he's concentrating more on that. But he's more of a third down red zone guy. He's not really going to play 53 snaps on offense for you. He's more going to play 17 to 24 snaps for you.
Didn't Taylon Green get engaged in the offseason?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. See, love is in the air for stars, even at the national level.
NIL's in the air. There's a lot more kids in college getting married now that play football than when I played, because they like, oh, you're making $1 million. Hey, all of a sudden I love you now.
It's also the size of the rings now are going to be just a lot larger than they were before. And say, is that a rock or a pebble? Well, look at NIL era compared to pre-NIL era. Rocks and pebbles.
Is that a moissanite?
Well, congratulations to all those who are in love, whether you play football or not, okay? We're just happy for you. And congratulations to those who made the NFL opening week rosters yesterday. Top of the list that I want to go with here, Matt.
Cleveland Browns.
Eric Gregory makes the Cincinnati Bengals as an undrafted free agent.
That's so awesome, Phil. Yes, sir. Arkansas guy going up there, doing his thing. We all know Tesla's going to make it. He'll go down as one of the most underutilized Arkansas Razorbacks ever. But Eric Gregory, man, beast mode, man. Good for him.
The other couple of receivers that were former Razorbacks that were in camp were cut or waived or released yesterday, and sometimes you can't find out which was what happened to either one of them. But Tyrone Broden, one of the last cuts for Seattle, and Andrew Armstrong, one of the last cuts for Miami. And so, yeah, Tesla is the only offensive player from last year's Arkansas team that is going to open up this year on an NFL roster. Of course, Landon Jackson with the Bills, and we knew he would get there. But it's not a surprise that Tesla, makes the roster. Even first of all, if you're a third-round draft choice, you have to really have an awful camp if you're going to not make
top 100 picks. You're right.
That's right. So. But for Gregory to get there as an undrafted free agent, and considering how this has to be he's a versatile guy. Of course, he's going to play a lot on special teams, but for a guy that played on the inside and the outside last year, and we focus so much, Matt, on Arkansas lost Landon Jackson and what that does to the defense and the defensive line specifically. You have two of last year's defensive linemen, really defensive ends. I know Gregory played plenty of tackle, that are opening up this year on NFL rosters. You got to replace both of them. Never mind just Jackson. Eric Gregory too, man.
Man, you're exactly right. And here's one of the things I'll tell you about last year's NFL. And just watching it, just watching, Cincinnati had the worst defense I've seen in a long time. So when you're thinking about undrafted guys I think he chose right. I think you gotta give his agent props. You got to give him props for choosing the right spot to go to, because there's room. Cincinnati's defense was awful last year, so that's good for him. He should get some playing time.
It was like the kind of like the LSU defense.
Yeah, when they lost their coordinators the next year, it's like, we're going to lose everybody and we're going to start over. Kind of, I think you're on to it.
Like you preview the next year's team, you're like, hey, look at that. We returned this and this from that offense that scored 44 points a game last year. But think about how many guys you got back from the defense that allowed 41 a game. That's just pretty much. I would imagine Bengals will be a little bit better there and may have to in that division. That's for sure. But that's super to see Eric Gregory make it. 18 Razorbacks will open up on NFL rosters to open up the weekend. I should actually say 16, because Drew Sanders and John Ridgway will open up on IR.
Yeah,
but they're both eligible to return.
So week 7, week 8, somewhere around there, they can come back.
Well, they got with Sanders, it's called short-term IR, and with Ridgway, it's IR eligible to return. And then here was one that I thought was kind of interesting, Matt, and I don't know how folks look at this. I still view Chris Paul as a former Razorback. He was here 2 years. Paul was, I think there was a 5th or a 6th round pick by the Rams. They cut him. The Commanders signed him, and Paul has made the opening day roster for Washington, along with Dietrich Wise. We always thought he'd play in the NFL. It's just kind of surprising to hear he got cut from the team that drafted him this year.
You know, the Rams, they're a little different team. Sean McVay out there, and they have a lot of talent. I think the Rams are on a short list of teams that can win a Super Bowl, Phil, so I equate it like this. Moses Moody, if he would have went somewhere to Philadelphia and think he would be starting, you know, like he was at Golden State, hard to get going there. You look at Isaiah Joe at Oklahoma City,
put him on the Pistons.
Yeah, he's starting and he's playing. So I think that's kind of what it is with Chris Paul. That it's just he's obviously if the Commanders cut him, he would be picked up again. Dude's talented.
So whichever way you want to put it, either 16 or 18 Razorbacks on NFL opening week rosters, which may be a little lower than in previous, at least recent memory. So you got, let's see, Froholt with the Cards, Felipe Franks, Atlanta, Landon with the Buffalo Bills, Gregory, Cincinnati, Greenlaw and Sanders with Denver, Jake Bates and Tesla with Detroit, Cam Little and Mo Brown with the Jaguars. Jaguars cut Kiwi Rose, Danico Slaughter, and Jaquindon Jackson over the last couple of days. Cam Curl and Bo Limmer with the Rams, Dwight McLaughlin with Minnesota, Hunter Henry, 10th season in the NFL. Patriots, of course. Brandon Allen backing up at Tennessee. And then there's Ridgway with the Saints and Dietrich Wise and Pooh Paul with the Washington Commanders. Rocket Sanders was cut yesterday by the Chargers. And he was pretty good with South Carolina last year, and actually had a pretty good preseason. And every time I watched Rocket, just looking at him, I thought, feels like a prototypical NFL running back, but it does not make the opening week roster for the other Los Angeles team.
How many, so Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel both make the deal to Joe Flacco? Yeah, there you go.
Exciting day for everybody that had the job, and then practice squads get signed. Did you know you can, if you're on an NFL practice squad and you're in your 3rd or 4th year, you can make near $300,000 for the whole season. They're paid weekly, but if you're there for all 18 weeks, $289,800.
That's the max of practice. See, when I was there, you had like 3 years to get 2 in type thing. So once your first year in the league, after your 3rd year, you couldn't really be on a practice squad anymore. And I think it started out at like 90. So this is 20 years ago, but that was kind of how when. So no surprise it's went up like that.
Okay, not a lot of pressure on you, good.
Well, you practice hard 2 days a week. So like Wednesday, Thursday, you got to go against the first team on scout team. You got to go like it's practice players, but then on Sunday it's not your game day, so it's a different mindset. And then if you do get called up, it kind of goes. Then you get to start playing on Sundays. But that's what your big game days are Tuesday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday, whatever ways you're putting the meat of your plan in.
I think there's something like a difference of maybe $600,000 between what you can make at the best for practice squad and the NFL league minimum. So, yeah, just being on that practice squad and showing out, and you never know. You never know. You might get elevated, and the next week's paycheck's going to be a heck of a lot more than the last one. All right, halftime on a Wednesday is Clay Henry joining us at 12 noon. Hall of Fame sports writer joining us for a couple of hours. And when we come back after the break, we've got Grant Hall, so stay with us here on a Wednesday morning on Halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
From Memphis, Tennessee, number 10, Todd Day. What a slam dunk by the freshman out of Memphis.
All right, Saul, what do you think of the intro? Is that legendary enough for you?
It was great. Okay. Yeah, it was legendary.
Don't miss a Morning Rush.
Only on ESPN.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
They say choice is the ultimate luxury, and now it's yours with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 Classic Box, loaded with lavish classics, the $7 Supreme Box, packed with decadent faves, or the $9 Discovery Box, now featuring the indulgent cheesy street chalupas. That's Lux. For less. The $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH 25.
Give it a shot. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the Whippoorwill, and Rib Room. Apply today and join the Newmeyer family.
You're hired. Come back tomorrow at noon for training.
Perhaps you can taste the blood, but you don't have strength to leave. You've been bought, you've been sold, you've been locked outside the door. Stand there pleading with your insides bleeding, cause you deep down want some more. She that she wants forgiveness. Such a clever masquerade. She's so good.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Right now on our Lewis Automotive Hotline is sports writer, Hall of Fame sports writer and sportscaster Grant Hall. You do the intro, you got to throw the Hall of Fame in there. They don't induct you for no reason at all. That's how you get in. It's how you get Grant. That's how you get introduced until the end of time. Just like DiMaggio always demanded to be introduced as the greatest living ball player, and he would put someone in their place if he wasn't. Just make sure next week, if I don't introduce you properly, put me in my place.
Well, I appreciate it, Phil. I've only been that since age 76, so for a little year and more. So it is kind of nice to hear it. But I imagine you want to hear about all things Ryder Cup, right?
Yes, Tommy Fleetwood getting his win. Let's go, Grant.
They got the 6 selections today. He went in order. You wondered how Keegan Bradley would do this, and if he was going to name himself, would he save it for the end for the most ratings, and a couple of people yesterday on Sirius Satellite Radio indicated he would not pick himself. That ended up being the case. Keegan Bradley went with off the points list 7, 8, 9 with Justin Thomas, Morikawa, and Ben Griffin, and then he picked Cantlay and he picked Young. Actually, Young was 4th, Cantlay was 5th, and Sam Burns was 6th. And it was kind of interesting because in the interview, one of those guys, I think Young gave it away when he mentioned other guys on the team, and he mentioned Burns. So you knew when it got 12 that Keegan wasn't going to pick himself. And I think it's a breathtakingly selfless act by him. He was 11th on the list. I don't think any of the guys would have had an objection if Keegan had picked himself, especially after this last week when he played so well. But he said during that final event that he was really tired, and even Monday, he's had this thing worked out since Monday. Justin Thomas said that he was gutted that Keegan did not pick himself, and that Keegan himself probably was. But I think ultimately it just came down to these guys that he picked have all done well this year. Maybe not so much Morikawa, who has only had one top 10, I think, since March. Even Cantlay, who had a great tournament this last week, has not won in 3 years, and showed no emotion either in his phone call, with Keegan Bradley, or today just kind of sitting there, but he's been a good partner to Schauffele in the past. And Morikawa, even though he struggles putting, is a great ball striker. So I was kind of pulling for Keegan to pick himself. I was kind of pulling for Maverick McNeely and even Chris Goddard up a little bit. But it was going to be hard no matter how he did it. And I'm really impressed. I do think also, though, that Keegan probably knew that if he picked himself and they didn't win, he'd never live it down. That especially in his stomping ground there in New York.
Why is there a tradition? I mean, let me come from being a total layman here, and you know that about me about golf. Why is there this tradition that the captains don't play in the Ryder Cup?
Well, I think it's just gotten to all the events, the corporate things leading up to it. There was some talk about that today. No one's done it since Arnold Palmer in 1963. And as a matter of fact, Keegan Bradley said he wished he could have talked to Arnold Palmer about it. But I think also it's been that they've been picking guys of an age that they're kind of past their playing prime. And so it hasn't been as much of an issue. Now with Keegan at age 39 having really probably his best year this year, it became such a story. I think I said last week it was 50-50, but it's just the event has gotten so big. You wonder sometimes if it's almost too big in terms of winning, and I hope the fans at Bethpage behave themselves this year.
Hey, what about Tommy Fleetwood getting his first victory on tour, Fairway Jesus? I've always kind of been a fan of his, an Englishman. Do you think this maybe propels him next year to maybe win a major, or do you think this is probably his best victory ever?
I think he could have a major in his future, Matt, I thought it was fantastic that he won. I was pulling for him. It's interesting, that it'll be just the opposite. Everybody at Augusta this year was pulling for Rory to win, and it seemed like most of the fans were pulling for Fleetwood, even over the Americans. But, of course, that'll be totally reversed when they represent Europe coming up in the Ryder Cup. But he's just such a selfless guy. He handled everything great. Even when he knocked it in the water on 15, he's fist-bumping fans all the way up the line there to the green, and I think that got him a lot of fans.
Hey, Grant, I know you watch all the pressers from the players, and you're in on all of the coach pressers leading up to the season. The thing that really stood out for me yesterday is that Arkansas is playing in FCS school out of the SWAC in Alabama A&M, and they're watching Division II film because Alabama A&M's head coach was at Miles College the last few years. That's a Division II program. And they have 11 players from that Miles team last year on this year's Alabama A&M squad. So you're playing an FCS school, you're watching Division II film, and then you get into the real portion of the season next week.
Yeah, that is interesting. And their coach, I think they're in their coaching staff. They've had playing ties to Alabama and Auburn, so they've been in big moments. But I noticed yesterday, or someone said there was 42.5-point line. There's no real, you're not going to see a newspaper line because you're playing in a different division. But if that's the case, I would think Arkansas might cover by the third quarter. And I look for big days from maybe guys like Sharp or, these young receivers. You've got 5'8" and 5'9" guys back there, even Shanks, who maybe he'll break a punt return. I think that if they're going to go cover zero, Matt, and try to cover man to man, you could see some long plays. I would expect Talon to have 4 or 5 touchdown passes in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want him to press, and I'm with you. I think he can make this game whatever he wants it to, but I'm not really too worried if he only has 2 touchdowns or 0 touchdowns. I want to see how crisp they are. I want to see him get in the right play. I want to see 0 fumbles by the offense. And I also want to see the defense fly around and tackle. And you don't, the thing that worries me, and maybe the coaches are being a little coy because they know more than we know. They've been around these kids. But I want to see that D-line. I don't want to see a 100-yard rusher against a Division II program, Alabama A&M, which I know they're not D2, but you know what I'm saying. You don't want to see a 100-yard rusher this first game of the year.
Yeah, I don't want to see 17 points by the other team. I don't want to see long pass plays by them. That's what if this defense can hold them to 7 or 10 or 0, that's really what you want to see out of that. It's hard in today's football. I don't care who you're playing, I want to see a great day by the defense.
Hey, Grant, we were talking earlier about Eric Gregory making the Bengals as an undrafted free agent. And Matt, I mean, maybe the greatest, one of the greatest, certainly undrafted free agents of all time was a college teammate of yours, and Jason Peters. What do you remember about when he was coming out of Arkansas, was out of eligibility? Was it known that he was going to sign somewhere because it's such a great athlete? It was a matter of finding a position, because you just don't find players like him too often. I'm not saying Eric Gregory is going to go into the Hall of Fame. It's just you never really know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we saw a lot of names on the list yesterday of Razorbacks that got waived or released who were pretty prominent, and it's really interesting. You've talked about this too. Tesla making 3 touchdown catches in preseason. and after catching 25 balls last year or something, and then the guy that caught 78, Armstrong, didn't make it onto the first, the roster. Now maybe some of these guys will resurface through practice squads and things like that. I think Dan Skipper got cut again. He's really been off again, on again for a long time in his career. But I think mostly it shows that's why Arkansas hasn't been as good the last 10, 15 years as fans wanted to be, and not a whole lot of guys in the NFL.
Hey, what's your final take, I guess, on this Micah Parsons deal in Dallas? Since 2021, he's had the highest pass rush rate efficiency, meaning if he's one-on-one, he's been able to hurry the quarterback the most. He has the best rating out of all of NFL football. Chances are he plays opening day. Does he make it week 2? When does Micah Parsons suit up for the Dallas Cowboys?
Man, that's a great question, Matt. I heard a really good interview with Randy Galloway, a longtime friend who's finally retired, I think, in the media in Texas. But he's known Jerry for a long time, and he felt that Jerry believed he had a commitment personally from him that he was going to play, and then the agent got involved and called and said no. And this was for like a $200 million offer, unprecedented for a non-quarterback.
Yeah, it was like 4 years, I think, around $200 million. Yeah.
And I think it got personal with Jerry, and so they're at this impasse now, and I really couldn't predict what's going to happen there. By the way, it was great to see Jimmy Johnson in his quotes, calling the Hogs and all that stuff, and how much the Razorbacks meant to him. It took a long time for him to get back to this point. He was gutted when he did not get the job when Ken Hatfield got it. And, good to see him at age 82 back in the state, and kudos to David Basil for helping bring that about.
Grant, let's leave it there. Always appreciate these visits on Wednesdays, so let's do it again next week, okay?
Sounds good. Thanks. See you guys.
It's Grant Hall, Hall of Famer, with us every Wednesday on Halftime. They got something special going on this Saturday to celebrate the start of college football at Joe's Grilling Cantina. They're going to do half-price apps and taps. So when you wear your hog gear, you get half-price apps and taps all day long at Joe's. That's August 30th. Half-price apps and taps when you're wearing your Razorback gear. Check out the 10-layer dip, the Chimmy Paquitos, Ultimate Sampler and Mexican Pizza, August 30th, opening weekend, half-price apps and taps with your hog gear on all day long at 2400 South 74th Street, right across from Harps. Joe's Grilling Cantina is online at joesfortsmith.com. We'll open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline now. It's 877-377-6963, and we're back in just a couple minutes.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
This is Halftime.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text FORCE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text FORCE to 42424. That's FORCE to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent
You're
any
listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life. The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one Baby Shad. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail That bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original Baby Shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
All right. It's a beautiful day for football here at the stadium, and we're just about ready for kickoff. Score 0-0. And suddenly, I'm in the mood for a Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar. Now that's a winning combo. Yeah, crisp, refreshing. That hits the spot. When it comes to great taste, Coke Zero Sugar's always on the scoreboard. Coke Zero Sugar. Real Coke taste, zero sugar.
Hi, this is Truett Tollett with WT Equipment. When it's hay season, you need equipment that works as hard as you do. Premier Forge tools, from mowers to balers, are built tough to perform in the field and backed by support you can count on. At WT Equipment, we help you get the right Premier tools to keep them running strong. Come by and see us at our 8 locations or visit us online, WTEquip.com. Premier, because your hay doesn't wait.
The Crane Automotive Team has 16 locations across Arkansas and is home to the Crane Commitment. You'll find Ford, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Hyundai, Kia, Volkswagen, and access to thousands of pre-owned vehicles. Vehicles for every lifestyle and every budget. Even if you're not in the market for a vehicle, the Crane Team Service Centers offer the latest in vehicle diagnostic technology and certified technicians to take care of your vehicle and get you back on the road. Check them out at craneteam.com. The Ruskin and Zach studios are driven by the Crane Automotive Team.
Are you looking for a great place to stay, hang out, and eat this summer? How about Shangri-La Resort in Midada, Arkansas? This is Phil Carr. For more than 70 years, my family has enjoyed seeing you. Yes, even Ty. Come fish, swim, and boat on the best body of water in all of Arkansas, Lake Ouachita. The cafe is open for you 7 days a week with daily specials. I'm up every morning at 3:30 making mom's pies. Call 870-867-2011 to book. Shangri-La Resort in beautiful Midada, Arkansas, a touch of paradise and a boatload of fun.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Romeo, where you go? It's been years and still no sign, but I'm keeping hope alive. Juliet, how you been? You look like death. Like you should get you some rest from this place, human racing, and the faces of the people who pound at your door. They'll always want more, they'll want more.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Interesting situation going on down the street from the home studio. I went on a little 25-minute walk before the show, called my good friend and co-host Matt Jones while I was putting one foot in front of the other. And my daily route takes me right past a veterinary office. It's where the cats end up going to when they need it. And it's just, about 200 steps away from the home studio. A different scene out there than I guess I'd usually expect to see outside a veterinary office in a parking lot where the front entrance of the vet was smashed in. The door does not exist any longer. Somebody had also smashed out the window, and there's police tape over the entrance. And are you a nurse if you're not the actual vet? I don't know what to call these people, but the nurses were out there explaining to some of the people how they got to take their animals somewhere else for the time being. What are you going to do is smash and grab for at a vet office? There's some interesting things going on in there. Well, a mystery, I guess. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. Horse tranquilizers or something? Who's taking horses to a vet in the city?
What's your Armageddon, where they the late great, he's John Coffey in The Green Mile. Can't think of his name right now. I know y'all know exactly
who you
I'm
mean.
thinking of. But they're like, we found ketamine in his system, and they're like, it's a tranquilizer. He's like, some of them are big guys. He goes, it's for horses. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes, I mean literally like bigger than you though. You need to have 4 legs for this thing to work for you. Anyway, it was a different kind of a scene.
Michael
in the neighborhood.
Duncan Jones.
That's
It's a 3-tier name. I know that. But yeah.
Philip Michael Duncan.
Something Michael Duncan. Our listeners,
One of those things. Yeah. So here's another thing that's kind of interesting out of this cut day yesterday, and there's still some draft picks that have not signed their contracts. The big one was Shamar Stewart with Cincinnati, defensive end from A&M, and I remember he was even threatening to go back to college, or at least the idea was that he could go back to college. Quinshon Judkins has the same thing going on with the Browns, Matt, as a second-round draft choice, still hasn't signed a contract.
Is he not in camp at all?
I actually don't know if he was in camp or not, but no, I don't think he's played at all for them. You can't play if you're not under contract. I don't think you actually have to be in camp if you're not under contract either. So if you haven't signed a pro contract and you still have college eligibility, can you go back and play college football? I mean, there'd be some teams that would line up to get Quinshon Judkins.
I don't think you can.
I wouldn't think you can either. But there's a question about
stuff
this.
To be a part of the union, and you do things. They have you fill out stuff. It's if you go play in the CFL, you got to wait a year before you can come back to the NFL. Like I don't think you can. Michael Clark Duncan. There we go. Thank you to the listeners.
Well, I just wonder what because I know that there's some situations with a lot of teams and how they're treating contracts with players now. I think in terms of, does it have something to do with bonuses? I think it has to do with bonus
and
money,
guaranteed money. And then if you're a first round pick these days, you give your agent 1.5%, and if you're not, then you give your agent 2%, and if you're later than that, you give your agent 3%. So there is a lot different things going on.
That would just be crazy to think about, because you could be a baseball player and you could be drafted and you could not sign a contract and you could come back. But like Parker Coyle is doing that. Parker Coyle, what was he? 13th round pick, Brewers? Was that what it was? 16th round pick, one of those teens. I mean, this is a time honored tradition. If you don't sign your pro contract, it's not like you went to the team's facility and put their uniform on and acted like you were part of the organization or anything. So I guess it's totally different situations, because I know Judkins at that point, like if you go into the draft, that means you are giving up your eligibility, right? It's the same with the NBA. Once you get past that threshold and you don't withdraw, you no longer are eligible for college basketball. Baseball just has never done this before. You don't have to worry about being eligible for the draft, or you can come back, because you can just come back. Anyway, I just wonder if this will lead to some kind of a different situation with where maybe you do end up with guys coming back into college, which would be crazy right now, because if you haven't made an NFL roster and you haven't signed your contract and it's August 27th and the season starts next week, like you can't. This is not the minor leagues. College football is not really the minor leagues of the NFL, no matter how much fun it is to think it is, because no one's going back and forth between the two. And this would be an instance of somebody going back and forth between the two.
I wonder what a running back gets paid in the CFL. The way that the NFL's devalued the running back position, that they might be similar. And I know Ricky Williams years ago got $1 million. It was the highest paid running back in the CFL, but rightfully so, because the dude, I think he's a Hall of Famer. But if Quince Judkins, like, dude, I think he could probably make similar money going to play in the CFL, and it's easier on your body.
He may end up getting the guarantees that he wanted to anyway there, right? The CFL season starts in May, and it goes through October, so they're in the middle of their season, and I'm sure it's got to be a tradition from the CFL that you are rating the rosters of those who got cut at this time of the year in the NFL. It's almost like a whole new set of talent that can come into the league.
But you're gone for a year. So as soon as you sign for the CFL, it's over a year before you can try to. So you would have to be putting it. You can't go to spring ball. You can't go to summer workouts.
I mean, you'd be giving up on your NFL career
for
then,
a
right?
year. You got to wait. Yeah, you got it. They put you on that carousel.
Speaking of, Judkins, I know he's from Ole Miss, of course. I was reading where Lane Kiffin is talking. You never know what to believe when you're hearing things from coaches, but I believe the negative things is at that point they feel, well, I guess I got to say something about this. Like Sam and the defensive line depth. I mean, you got to be honest about this if you're moving last year's right tackle to defensive line. Lane Kiffin's talking about Ole Miss battling injuries at offensive line and tight end. I don't think they're going to have Luke Hasz this year. I think he's out, maybe for the entire season, certainly for a big chunk of it. So they've had to reinforce their tight end position with a couple of position changes. They already weren't a team that really ran the ball very well last year. They were great defensively. Figure they're going to take a step back defensively, and I wonder if Ole Miss is going to be as good as people have expected.
Not a lot of hype. I mean, last year we'd have Bill King on, and we still have Bill King on, but he would say, hey, this is the best Ole Miss roster that they've had in 30 years. There's not a lot of people saying that about this year's Ole Miss team.
Well, and when you're hearing about offensive line injuries and problems with depth at tight end, so you're making position changes, right? That right there is the weak link for Ole Miss this year.
A new quarterback as well. I mean, you start I wasn't very impressed with Jackson Dart, but all he did was set like all the records at Ole Miss, and he's made an NFL roster. So you got to think there's probably a little bit of a drop off. I say it scares me a little bit. I think at Ohio State, Will Howard. I mean, all he did was win back-to-back Big 12 championships with Kansas State, then go and win all his games except for against Michigan. At Ohio State. He's a win, so that might be a little, but there's so much talent on that Ohio State.
Well, it's a matter of talent against experience because Julian Sayin I don't think he's ever won a game playing college
redshirt
football
freshman,
yet.
isn't he? Yeah,
coming from Alabama, it sat last year all season at Ohio State. So much different in that position. But to hit on a point that I think you've made quite a bit, Arkansas is getting Ole Miss at the right time this year. I think they're absolutely going to get Ole Miss at the right time. Plus, after they play Kentucky, and it's not like Kentucky's any great shakes.
Kentucky's physical, though.
But they could be physical where Ole Miss could struggle.
Kentucky's a physical team. Stoops has that's one thing that you would say. What do we say, I guess, if you were to say one word for a Coach Pittman coach team? Stoops, I'd say physicality. That's what they do. Do we have a word for do we have something? Is it lack of consistency? I mean, what's the one word you would use to describe this Razorback team?
I don't know what that word is. And that's what I've tried to hit on for the last few weeks, and the idea of when you think of Arkansas football under Sam Pittman, what is it that you think of? What is it that you
identity?
Immediately go to as an identity? And I don't think there's something there yet. And I'm thinking you would expect after 5 years, you would have a sense of what the identity is. I think they know what they want the identity to be. And I think it is line of scrimmage, being tough, being physical, being able to run the ball. I just don't know if they've necessarily achieved it on a consistent basis yet. Hopefully this year it does. Let's go to the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Got a moment for Brian in Ozark. Good morning, Brian. What's up?
Good morning. Hey, I got a couple questions for you.
Shoot.
So my question is, do you all have something on your hit that line, kind of like the SEC Pick'em, where you can pick different football games, winners and losers, for a prize or anything like that?
I don't think we have anything like that this year. We do that for the for NCAA tournament for basketball, but we haven't done that during the football season.
You guys y'all should do that. I mean, you and Matt got the best sports show, talk show in Arkansas, and I think if your competition has one, I think you and Matt could get that done because I think your radio people, listeners would love that.
That's real good. Brian's we could help you out with some programming here, Brian. Can you sell a sponsorship for us? I mean, you've got people that've got 5 miles of fence that need painted, so maybe we already have a fence sponsor, so I'm not sure if
Sherman Williams, maybe paint sponsor.
Man, I'd do what I could to help you get that done. That's just a fun challenge, I figure football's the sport, so if you could get it done in basketball, you get done in football too.
All right. Well,
And,
we may give it a shot. We'll see.
I got one other question for Matt, real quick.
Go ahead.
Are you surprised that Quinn Ewers made the Dolphins as the 53-man team?
I'm a Quinn Ewers fan. I think I thought he should have been drafted higher. I like Quinn Ewers. I was kind of in the minority when you're talking to a lot of different people about him. I think the dude is really talented. I think the thing that he struggles with is processing information. But all that does is take reps and time, and he'll get better at that. But as far as arm talent, I think he has just as much talent.
877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline for calls and texts. We'll break and back to wrap up hour number 1 after this.
Kind of a big deal. People know me.
This is Halftime.
Hardee's Original Bag is back, now with even more full-size sandwiches. Choose any two. The new spicy chicken sandwich, hot ham and cheese, hand-breaded chicken tender wrap, or charbroiled double cheeseburger. Mix and match any two, with fries and a drink, just $6.99. Why settle for junior burgers? Get big savings on full-size goodness in Hardee's country. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary. See app for terms.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
The big Jelco Outdoor Summer Clearance Sale is going on now. Summer clothing by Ariat, Drake, Under Armour, Wrangler, and more. Men's and women's clothing now 50% off. Select Western boots by Ariat, Justin, R. Watson, Durango, and Twisted X, 50% off. Lazy Man box blinds for hunting season. Save hundreds of dollars off. Don't miss the 50% summer clearance sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Have you had Cheerwine yet? The cherry flavored soda has had people coming back since 1917. This is RD with Platinum Distributing. We help bring Cheerwine to the River Valley for you to try. Nothing goes with food like Cheerwine. Burgers, barbecue, pizza, you name it. Okay, now we're hungry and thirsty. Cheerwine is a one-of-a-kind soft drink with a unique cherry taste that has been delighting Southerners for more than a century. Pick up Cheerwine at your local Jam Mart, Harps, and other fine establishments. Cheerwine, uniquely Southern since 1917.
All right, Hog fans, listen up. Y'all know Saturdays are about football, and if you're not in the stadium, we found the next best seat in the house. It's at Sofa City. They have this brand new top grain leather, zero gravity power reclining set. It's got power headsets, power lumbar. You can even add a heat and air massage. I'm not kidding. And that's not even the best part. It's got this surround sound you can adjust with the option to add a vibration level to feel every roar of the crowd as though you're sitting there right at the 50-yard line. And if you're looking for deals, Sofa City has recliners starting at just $298. Or you can upgrade your whole setup with a power reclining sofa for only $998. And you know how at most furniture stores you have to wait weeks or months for your furniture? Well, not at Sofa City. They have it in stock, so you can buy it today and enjoy it tonight with great financing options. So don't just watch the game, experience it. Head to Sofa City near you in Fort Smith, Russellville, Harrison, and Mountain Home. Or you can see more at sofacityusa.com.
Are you an electrician that's looking for a smaller, non-corporate job? Well, I'm here in studio with Sloan Walker of Sloan Electric, starting 40, 45 hours a week, anywhere from $20 to $28 an hour, depending on the experience.
Yeah, that's all correct. We offer competitive pay. We have 6 paid major holidays. I'm working on some other benefits to go with those for my current employees and future employees. Best way to get in contact with me is just give me a phone call or text at 479-461-4302. Sloan Electric. We can power up together.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Just got home from Illinois, locked the front door open. Sat down, take a rest on the porch. Imagination sets in, pretty soon I'm singing. Do, 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 looking out my back door. It's giant doing.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Last segment, Matt, Brian and Ozark told us we got the best show in Arkansas. Did you hear that?
It makes me a little nervous.
He's not listening to ESPN Austin, as I told him to do last year. It's all right. We appreciate that.
Thank you for the compliment, though.
Yes. Thank you very much, Brian. Puts more pressure on us. Jim in Springdale is here to take us up into the break. Jim's on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Good morning, Jim. What's up?
Hey, guys. I'll be quick because I know you're up against a break. But, yeah, I would think the identity of the team in one or two words. You can't really do it yet. Remember, Sam came on in a kind of a just glad to be here mode and wasn't even a coordinator, much less a head coach. So he didn't come in with any identity like a Kiffin could come in or a Sarkisian or a Chip Kelly or anybody. So there
what
wasn't
happened,
an
Jim,
identity.
is that people put the identity on him for him because he was an offensive line coach. Well,
Exactly.
Immediately think, well, we're going to be great on the offensive line. And, you're still waiting.
Exactly. And then what also happened is we've had three different offensive coordinators, very different. Bryles, and then Enos, a whole other direction, and then now Petrino. So you can't really pin that down yet. And then we also had some very different quarterbacks. K.J. Jefferson was a clear leader of the team, so maybe that's the identity. But then that happened, and then now Taylon Green. That's about the only player people can really talk about nationally to identify the team. And the defense hasn't been good enough to say, oh, this is a defensive-minded team. This is the Baltimore Ravens. So there hasn't been one yet, I don't think, for all those reasons. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's just and I think so much of that has to do with the idea that Sam's never had to put into place a philosophy as a coordinator, as an offensive coordinator. Because usually somebody comes in, they've had that experience as a coordinator, and they go, this is what we've done here. This is how it's going to operate there. And as an offensive line coach, you're focused so much on just your position group. And that's the thing I expected, is that Sam would come in and after a lengthy career as an assistant at one specific position, that you've got like ideas on how you would like this to operate. And really what I feel like from Sam, if I want an idea, like the identity is just as him as a coach, he's a CEO. And the coordinators kind of do their thing. The position coaches are able to do their thing. And I don't know, that kind of stands out to me about him.
He is a leader, and I would say that, for the most part, the team, they do take on their head coach's identity, and you got to like how these kids handle themselves in the public. They tend to make the right decision off the field, just, more than they make the wrong decision.
Going into hour number 2 here on Halftime, Hall of Famer Clay Henry joins us for the rest of the show. You can get with us anytime. Lewis Automotive Hotline is 877-377-6963. What do you want the football program's identity to be? How about that? We'll get into that in a moment. Stay with us.
The big Jelco Outdoors summer clearance sale is going on now. Summer clothing by Ariat, Drake, Under Armour, Wrangler, and more. Men's and women's clothing now 50% off. Select Western boots by Ariat, Justin, R. Watson, Durango, and Twisted X, 50% off. Lazy Man box blinds for hunting season. Save hundreds of dollars off. Don't miss the 50% summer clearance sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple: improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Hey everybody, Zachary Hall here, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. If you have not stopped by the Jam Mart in Fort Smith on Phoenix Avenue, you're missing out. They have a brand new hot case in there. They serve breakfast, they serve lunch, they serve dinner. My personal favorite is the chicken strips and potato wedges. They also serve cheeseburgers as well. They have all sorts of options that you don't want to miss. Be sure to stop by and see your local Jam Mart, Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith today. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in Arkansas.
Fill her up, please.
Mustard or ketchup? All right, Hog fans, listen up. Y'all know Saturdays are about football, and if you're not in the stadium, we found the next best seat in the house. It's at Sofa City. They have this brand new top grain leather, zero gravity power reclining set. It's got power headsets, power lumbar. You can even add a heat and air massage. I'm not kidding. And that's not even the best part. It's got this surround sound you can adjust with the option to add a vibration level to feel every roar of the crowd as though you're sitting there right at the 50-yard line. And if you're looking for deals, Sofa City has recliners starting at just $298. Or you can upgrade your whole setup with a power reclining sofa for only $998. And you know how at most furniture stores you have to wait weeks or months for your furniture? Well, not at Sofa City. They have it in stock, so you can buy it today and enjoy it tonight with great financing options. So don't just watch the game, experience it. Head to Sofa City near you in Fort Smith, Russellville, Harrison, and Mountain Home. Or you can see more at sofacityusa.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, an increase in the cloud cover, chance of seeing showers and scattered thunderstorms high this afternoon into the low 80s. Showers and storms back with us tonight. Overnight low in the upper 50s to low 60s. Showers and storms with some heavy rain, especially across the north on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with the forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 3 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What angle? One Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
12:01 in the afternoon, halftime rolling on a Wednesday on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, got Matt Jones in studio, looking right across at a close to 100% Seaburger movie unit. Kristen Johnston, we got Hall of Famer Clay Henry joining us in just a moment here. And Matt, it came out a couple days ago, and now on the SEC Coaches Teleconference, which is happening today for the first time this season. Sam Pittman confirming that Bobby Petrino is calling plays from the booth as opposed to being on the field where he was last year.
For the first game or for the whole season?
Well, I guess the plan is for the whole season, but maybe you go game by game if you liked it up there or not after game one.
I could see him doing it the first game because of the jamboree type setting, but because of what it is, and usually a scrimmage they'll be out there on the field, but this is more advanced than a scrimmage. But didn't last year that was the whole deal? He came out and he was like, no way that he was going to coach in the booth, or did he say he's done it both and he's going to? I've had quarterback coaches that. There's somebody down there that wants to look you in the eye, to get a feel for you. And then there's sometimes you see the game so much better when you're sitting in the booth. Like you can just tell where the safeties are lining up based on their split. And not that he can't do it from the sideline, but it's a lot easier. Imagine if you had to call a baseball game sitting down in the dugout. You could do it.
I've tried
but I'd
it.
have to think that it's easier when you're sitting up there and you kind of get that bird's eye view.
It isn't easy. It isn't easy. But I think it matters. Some of it might be like, who is it that you feel like you can trust the most at that moment? If you trust your quarterback, I'd rather be up in the press box to get that bird's eye view, and be able to trust your eyes more than anything, rather than. And I'm sure you trust whoever's up in the booth there relaying what he's seeing to him, but you trust your eyes more than you trust what somebody's telling you.
Like our Marcus Sin, our offensive line coach was on the sideline. Then you might have Shebest. Sometimes your tight end coach, your receiver coach. But when we had David Lee and Roy Wickey, they were both up there, upstairs. And then we had Dal Loggins on the sideline, so he was just as much a coach as any of us.
I was going to say, you got somebody down there that's like a coach too.
Mhm.
Hall of Fame sportscaster and sports writer. Clay, I gave you the same job twice. Of course, you can read him at Whole Hog Sports, where he is features editor, and he joins us Tuesdays and Wednesdays on Halftime for a couple of hours. Clay, it was great yesterday. Ready to do it again today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I guess that you could probably say I'm a sportscaster too, because I've been doing radio for 27 years. That's a long time. So, but I've been a sports writer longer.
It's just I introduced you as a sports writer and a sports writer, so you can only be that once. I want to make sure I don't throw, you can't be two sports writers at the same time. I know
Unless
sometimes
he's
we try to be two
ambidextrous.
people
He
at
could be
once.
ambidextrous.
Well, when my mother would call me, she called me once, and then the second time when she called me, I better be there. So you called me twice. I'm here. It's interesting that you talk about the booth or the sideline, and I think it's an all-encompassing thing. Are you comfortable with your quarterback? And Matt said, if it's new and it's a new system, you want to look at them in the eyes. And
when you're
be able
going
to
over
talk.
the play, I guess it's an iPad now, Clay. Used to, they'd print out sheets. But when you're going over that, yeah, you want to be able to point and look and get direct communication about, hey,
Yeah.
this is what I see on the.
Yeah, and I think that last year it was, and he's never going to say this, but he's working with some new coaches too, especially his offensive line coach. And to be able to talk to him on the sideline is important. But I think that, they're 2 years down the road now. That's an easier fit for him going to the box. Now, this is my opinion. I think coordinators should be in the box. I just think that Kendall Briles did not want to be in the box. He wanted to be on the sideline. Then you had the wild card of all the coordinators that have ever been at Arkansas. You had Jolie Dunn, and guess what? He didn't even put headsets on. he was drawing it up in the dirt as he went, and he didn't talk to anybody in the box. He didn't, and he was on the sideline. So guess what? Of all the teams, that 95 team is the only one that I guess, that there's two others, but that was the first. And there wasn't anybody that was going to tell Jolie Dunn that wasn't the way to do it. Hey, coach, you might want to put your headsets on and talk to somebody in the box. And he wasn't going to do that.
Well, even now, Clay, with technology, there's a linebacker that's going to have a headset, right? The quarterback has a headset that the coach can talk through.
Yeah, and that's very helpful. And again, they've done it. He understands how his guy's going to react, and he can, he wants to chew on him, he can. I'm sure he will. And then they get to the sideline, and they definitely are on the headset talking to each other. There's nothing to prevent that. That's always been the case. You had they handed you one of those old timey phones, right, Matt? Didn't you just?
Yeah, no, it would had the.
It would look like a phone.
The old fashioned ring. You'd hear it ring, and it was the loud ring noise. Yeah.
Yeah, better answer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to answer that one on the first time, Clay. You wait till the second time, then you might be a little bit in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have some extra up downs for you the next day.
There are a couple people on the text line asking about, well, what about the idea of Bobby lighting a fire under Talon in the offense if they're not doing well, and that they don't trust Sam to do this? And I don't know. I think having the perspective of being upstairs maybe a little bit more important. But there are also people that are thinking, don't we remember last year Bobby's talking about, I like to look my quarterback in the eyes. And maybe he was talking about a first-year quarterback. I'd be interested to see. Well, as a head coach, obviously you're down on the field, but that's also when he called all the plays as a head coach for all those years, down on the field. So I guess he was up in the box. Was he in the box for his year at A&M? Or did he go where Jimbo told him to go since he wasn't able to use his own language?
I bet he was in the box.
He was in the box at A&M. And guess what? He's looked at his quarterback in the eyes. He knows how he's going to react. And he's comfortable with him.
This has to do with the idea that he trusts Talon. And I didn't even thought about it too, Clay. There's only one change on the assistant coaching staff from last year, isn't it? Nick Perry, one of the secondary coaches?
Correct. He's coaching the corners.
You got the entire offensive staff back.
Yeah, and I think that's important, and I think that we're missing that. And I think that's the goodness of this staff is that there's some continuity.
I also want Talon to light a fire under the offense if they're not playing well. I want the quarterback to do it.
Yeah, and let's be honest. If any point in the game Bobby doesn't like what he's seeing or hearing, he can come down there. And I've seen coaches do that.
Yeah, how quickly?
By the way, I saw Ken Stevens at UCA do this very well. He was the head coach, and he was in the booth. The head coach. Now he's also the play caller, but he was very successful in running the whole show from the press box. I mean, if there's anybody that you trust to make this decision where I want to be, it's Bobby.
Do we trust Charlie to make this decision too?
No,
he's deciding.
Charlie, would Tuna be in the booth or would Tuna be on the sideline?
Yeah, Charlie, where are you going to watch the game from? When you're the offensive coordinator,
this is kind
for
of
an
a fishy
SEC
question.
Team. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it depends. I think it goes back to what you guys were talking about. I think it depends on my trust in my quarterback, and my players, and in the other coaches. And I think that's what you see here with Bobby is this isn't like, I mean, he's not going up there unless he's comfortable with, obviously, if Taylor, let's just, God forbid this happen, but Taylor goes down, he might wind up back down there if he was down for a game or two. You know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to KJ or anything. It's just, yeah, I mean, for sure. And look, if there's anybody, like you said, Clay, that can make that decision, it's Bob. I mean, he knows. He's comfortable, and it's a good point that you made, Phil. I mean, all the offensive coaches are back, right? Every single one of them. And I think at the end of the day, he knows exactly how Taylor is going to react. My thing is, if I'm Taylor, I'm glad he's up there. He won't be screaming at me so much as I'm running off the field every single time, but he'll be. I guess he'll yell in his ear when he picks that thing up.
Absolutely, he will.
But anyway, I would say this too, Clay. I was going to go back and what you said on that. I think on the coordinator thing, it depends on the personality. Like for me, I think T. Will could be good up in the booth, but I like his energy on the sideline. For some odd reason, I like the way I'm not saying they don't have other guys like that, but I like him on the sideline. I'm not saying he couldn't go up in the booth, but he's one of those kind of cats that I would want right there with the players. He might get the water boy or whoever's doing that excited. I mean, he's that kind of personality, and I'm not saying Bobby is not. It's just something about his energy that I don't know about you, Matt. What you think about T. Will? Would you like him on the sideline, or would you be cool if he was up in the booth?
Man,
I mean,
I'm all for those guys making their decision. Like I said, I think you see something more. You can see a little better up top, and I think it's advantage offense. I like it when my OC's up there. D coordinator's a little different, but it is. It's who else do you have on there? Do you have a Chris Vaughn that's out there? Do you have a Bobby Allen that's on the sideline too that can get them fired up? Or are you the main guy? So it is about trusting your other coaches as well.
You know how often we'll talk about, you can only see so much on the television screen, and you can't see the all 22. When you're on the sideline, you got to strain your neck if you're going to see everybody out there and what their formations are. And I know that to the trained eye, you can tell, but from that perspective up top, I just have a sense you really get a much better idea of what's going on. Absolutely. You get that all 22 from up top. It's not from the end zone or anything, but you can see everybody.
I watched football for 50 years from the press box. And I go on the field, I got no clue what's going on. I mean, it looks like a Chinese fire drill. I mean, I'm just going to be truthful. I don't know what's going on. And if I watch a scrimmage and they tell me I've got to stay down on the field, I might as well not be there. I'm going to have to defer to somebody else, their eyes, because I can't tell what's going on. I think it's incredibly beneficial to have the coordinator that's calling the offensive plays in the press box, especially if he's able to see the substitutions immediately that are coming from the other sideline, the personnel. But it has to be where he's comfortable with how things are going to be run on the sideline, and I think obviously he is. I think it's a really good sign for where they are as a staff and a football team.
Hey, Phil. Phil, can you hear me?
Shoot. Yeah, go ahead, Charlie.
Before I go, look, you had asked a minute ago about identity and what would I want the identity to be, or, you know, what would the fans want? I mean, obviously, for me in the SEC, it just goes back to, and Sam does talk about this, you got to be physical, and no doubt about it. One thing I would love to see this year, we got to stop with some of the, and I love Sam Pittman, don't get me wrong. I hope this year you see less self-inflicted wounds. I think sometimes, I mean, that Oklahoma State game, I can't get that out of my head for some reason. I mean, all the self-inflicted wounds in that game, just like, you were so much better than that team, and you just gave it to them. We got to get away from that kind of stuff and the penalties and the self-inflicted stuff. If we can do that, guys, we're going to be a better football team. I mean, I think about the scores of some of the games last year. Obviously, we put the ball on the ground, 30-plus times. If we can cut some of the self-inflicted stuff out, man, this is going to be a better football team than people think. I believe that, and they're more talented than last year. Yeah. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
All agreed on those things. It's just you hear so often, if we could cut the turnovers, if we could cut out the penalties, and unfortunately, those become the defining characteristics of a team sometimes, like the turnovers were last year, and the penalties, I think, a couple years before. Those ifs. Yeah, those are large ifs. Those are not easy things to just cut out. Maybe total changeover in the personnel is one way to do it. And, hey, you've had a complete changeover in terms of a lot of personnel. We'll break here in a moment. Lewis Automotive Hotline remains open, 877-377-6963. Crabtree RV Center in Alma. They've been doing it over 75 years and counting in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Here's what you get at Crabtree RV Center. You get the absolute best RV purchasing experience to choose the right RV. They have special personalized financing and a top-of-the-line parts and service department on site at Crabtree RV. It's where I-40 and I-49 come together in Alma, and online at crabtreerv.com. Back in a moment. This is Halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
We're talking with legendary Arkansas running back.
Thanks
Felix
for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush 25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
7 days, eating way well outspeeding sunflower seeds, drinking lots of carrot juice and soaking her rays, but it's not having these wonderful dreams. Some kind of sensuous treat. Not zucchini, fettuccine, bulgur wheat, but a big warm bun and a huge hunk of meat.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I don't think a cheeseburger in paradise was made in a toaster. So you get all these cooking videos, not as many head videos, cooking heads as I was getting about a month ago. But I got one yesterday, Clay and Matt and Christian, where the person cooked a couple of hamburgers in toaster slots. And I guess that's what you do if your oven or your range isn't working. But I don't know. Toasters are good for bread.
Yeah, what happened to the George Foreman? I thought everybody had one of those.
Man, that's what they built a grill for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, a toaster is really just a sideways grill, right, with electricity in it instead of It could actually work. I think it would ruin your toaster.
It would be. It's just a recipe for a disaster.
Let's just not be cooking steaks in those.
And then you can just turn it down, and all the juice would just come right on top. Just pick it up and it collects the juice right there for you.
See what happens? We start talking raw meat, and which dog is that in the background?
That's Millie.
That's
the
Millie.
FedEx
She's
person
hungry.
just dropped a package on the front door. Millie.
See, did you hear how quickly she stopped? Do you want to hear some obedience? That was some obedience, Matt Jones. All he had to say was her name.
Sorry.
She won't say a word for the rest of the day. That's amazing.
Yeah, she knows. I mean, the thing about it is that in this particular driver, I know them all. When you live in the woods, I mean, Amazon, FedEx, they're your friends. They usually have like treats in the pocket, and that's what Millie wanted. And she's watching her drive off down the driveway, and she's so sad. Did you hear this one little? Like,
Did she get her treats this time?
No, because I didn't open the door. I mean, I couldn't open the door because I'm on the radio with you guys.
She's got it so tough.
She
got
feels
it so
utter disappointment.
tough. Dogs
She's
are the
already
best.
had her. She's already had her swim in the river this morning. We've gone on a walk. It was National Dog Day yesterday, but I'm telling you, at our house, it is National Dog Day every day.
Isn't
with
that
Millie.
Isn't that a great life for Millie? That's the kind of life we should all end up leading.
Like a dog with your head out the window. That's how we all want to live.
With the tongue out,
Yeah.
the dog smile.
Going 47 miles an hour, but just ready to jump.
Eating bugs,
you've
want the
been in
bugs
this,
too.
You've been over here, and you know I got it pretty good too. So I'm not going to say it's National Clay Day too.
It's every day is National Clay Day, isn't it?
That's what I say. Nobody has it better than me, Clay. Some people might have it as good as me, but not a lot of people have it better than me.
366 days on leap year. That's right. Clark wants to, speaking of you, Clay, Clark in Fayetteville texted in on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. When are we going to be able to wade fish on Norfolk again?
It's about 3 weeks away. They're saying September 15th. The lake's been dropping all about 3/4 of a foot a day, and it's got about 4 feet to go. So do the math. And the same thing on the White. We're going to be wading pretty soon. I went up to Tanny on Sunday, Taneycomo, which is the White River below Table Rock Dam. I waded for about 3 hours, caught 25. It was great. I mean, I had to do that to wade fish, though. There's just not any wade fishing around here. Chris Ferry has some, too, the Little Red. But, yeah, caught some 18-inch rainbows up there. It was terrific.
Hey, guys, I saw 24/7 Sports, and they have recruiting rankings and all of that. So I think this is what they must be going by, the STAR system. And this is the same as ESPN's FPI rankings over the summer, in which, by the way, by now I think Arkansas has fallen off of the top 25 for FPI. 24/7 released their most talented team rankings, 1 through, I think it was 30. Arkansas, the 23rd most talented team in the nation, but on these rankings, it also puts them 13th in the SEC. So, and I think Chuck and Bo are getting into this debate a couple of days ago about, when you're ranked, you're not being ranked on your talent as the season goes on. I've been hitting on this for a while too. Nobody's voting for the preseason top 25 based on what the schedule looks like for each team. They're going by talent. And really, I even think for the first 2-3 weeks, you're still using that metric, a lot of the voters, thinking of, well, this team looks like they should be this sort of talented, so I keep them in this certain spot. And there got to be a point where it's just the games that have been played finally do take over. But this is a little perspective too. I do think this is a talented Arkansas team. I think it's more talented than previously. And if you were to put this team in the Big 12, you put this team in the ACC, maybe they do compete for a league championship. The question is, does this talent compete in the SEC? For a championship, I'd be highly surprised. Compete to be a good team in this league this year? Now I think we could talk about something with this edition of Arkansas. But, talented in the SEC is different than being talented in another league. And for those who bring up the thought of Arkansas should be in the Big 12, you would not have the same talent at Arkansas that you have now if you're in the Big 12. You would have less.
I get why you say that. But it's what will your roster look like in week 6? In other words, at the halfway point. How many injuries? How's your depth held up? Who are you playing? I'm not talking about opponent. I'm talking about who do you got? Do you still got Caden Kittler at center? I mean, is he healthy? Do you still have Xavier Sorey at middle linebacker? Is he healthy? It is all about the injuries, and I think that when we say, well, what's Arkansas and Missouri going to be like in game 12? Who's got their quarterbacks for the last month of the season? And if they don't, how are those backups? How is KJ Jackson? How is he? I think if you remember, there was a stretch where Missouri really struggled because Brady Cook wasn't on the field. I don't know what Missouri is going to be like with this new quarterback. Brady Cook is gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has been a big part of their success over the last 3 years, even 4 years. So that's one of the reasons why I have hope for Arkansas is I like both their 1 and their 2. Jimmy Johnson spoke in Little Rock yesterday, and I still am digesting everything he said, but I like to go back to his book, Swagger, and there's a chapter on how he rated NFL teams and how he drafted. He said when he first came into the league, he thought quarterback and defensive end were position 1 and 1A. You have to have a quarterback, and you have to have somebody that can get after the quarterback. That's why Micah Parsons is so important to the Cowboys right now, and I don't know what's going to happen there. But that's a guy that's it's a game changer. The one position on defense that you can really change the game. But Jimmy said that he completely changed his thought process after he'd coached a while in the NFL, that the 2 most important positions were quarterback and quarterback.
So where is Arkansas most talented? What do you think is their most talented position?
I think it's the 2 guys that are right in the middle of the field, the quarterback and the middle linebacker. I think Xavier Sorey is their most talented defensive player.
I was going to say quarterback with Talon, but there's something that goes along with it. And I think for Sorey too, and we saw that at times last year, there's a rawness to that, with the athleticism that goes along with it, but they're usually talent and youth equals rawness, not quite as fine-tuned. And you saw that, I think, with both of them last year. And we just assume that with another year, there'll be a little better fine-tuning. It makes a lot of sense. I can't see that it won't, but I'd agree. I think the 2 most talented players are the ones you just brought up. And it does feel like with Talon, the sky could be the limit. If there is a noticeable increase in field awareness, in protection up front for him, absolutely. I think he's the guy. Matt, what do you see on as far as who do you think most talented player? And of course, so much of that has to be we haven't seen most of the players that are going to be lining up on offense for this club. But just based on what I've seen, what I remember, I think Talon Green.
Yeah, I think Talon Green, he can play on Sundays if he keeps on this trajectory. I think our linebackers, from everything I saw from last year to going in this year, and then hopefully our safeties are good. And I know Clay and Phil, y'all talk about baseball too. You got to be good up the middle. Same thing in football. You got to have
no doubt.
Got to be good up the middle. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that our safeties are going to be really good this year.
I can't remember a good Arkansas team that didn't have a good center. I mean, it's not as hard to find a good center as it is
didn't when
a
McFadden
quarterback.
Was when the joke didn't the center win he won the is it the Lombardi? What's the center?
Well, you can just go through all of the good Arkansas teams, and they had a center that you could say Jonathan Louis.
That's who I'm thinking of. Louis. Yeah, he won some type of.
That's the Remington.
And then Frank
He won the
Ragnow
Remington,
he won that award. I mean, he's a first team All-America, and he only played 7 games, and he still was an All-America. That's how good he was. You saw what he did in the NFL. But yeah, it's and I have high hopes for Caden Kittler. Corey Robinson at left tackle. I mean, the team has dramatically changed because of those 2 players.
What's your thought, Clay? Phil and I were talking about this. The fact that we moved, Coach moves Blackstock over to the defensive side, and he's a backup. That means I think we are solidified on our offensive line. I think the coaches know who our starting 5 offensive linemen are going to be.
Yeah, and I think he knows that.
And I think they're
he's
better.
not in their top 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. He's probably 8th best. And so if he's 8th best, well, he might be 2nd best over there somewhere on defense, and so that's why they moved him. But I really do think when Oki comes back, the transfer, defensive lineman. When he comes back, I suspect that Blackstock would or could move back to offense if necessary. That's
the hope is he stays
he's
on
not,
defense. The hope
yeah.
is he takes advantage of this opportunity, and when the other guy comes back,
Well-
he's still able to be in the rotation. Then if you get an injury, you can always move Blackstock back to the O-line.
So here's what you want if you're a football player. You know, they tell you, hey, you're not going to start here. You might play in a rotation. We're not going to rotate our right guard. We're not going to rotate. This guy's going to play just about every snap if he's healthy. But we're going to rotate defensive players so you can get on the field. And all you want is to be on the field. And that's an opportunity. And I think that he's smart enough to realize it's my last go. I'm not going to get the NFL watching from the sideline. I might give me a chance over there. Big body, can do some things, as far as, third and short, goal line where you need an extra defensive lineman. He can get on the field. And if he's big enough and strong enough to play at offensive guard, he's big enough and strong enough to play at DT. So he's not a starter over there. I mean, they've got better players than him. But you play 6, 7, 8 in the defensive front. And if you don't, that's what happens in the fourth quarter. You're wore out and you're not able to make plays.
Guys, let's break. Lewis Automotive Hotline open, 877-377-6963. You already know about 46 Steakhouse, incredible hand-cut steaks, and their amazing, massive 46-ounce ribeye. But they also have so much else on the menu. Juicy chicken and hand-breaded catfish taste just like home. Hearty burgers, great sandwiches, and steakhouse salads for those looking for something a little bit lighter. And every meal comes with their famous hot-made rolls and honey butter. Worth a visit alone at 46 Steakhouse, 108 Highway 71 next to Harps and Alma. It's where every meal is a masterpiece. Stay with us. Halftime is back after this.
Hasta la vista, baby.
This is Halftime.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
I've not watched a complete Razorback baseball game all year because I can't get away from the radio.
This is Halftime.
Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
It's football season, and that means tailgate parties and gathering with friends. River Point Wine and Spirits has all your favorite party supplies. You'll love our clean, organized store full of all the best liquor, wine, and beer. At River Point, we're a family-owned business where customer service is always our priority. Your journey, our spirit. River Point Wine and Spirits, Grand Avenue and I-540.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
She came down from Cincinnati. It took her 3 days on the train, looking for some peace and quiet. Hope to see the sun again. But now she lives down by the ocean. She's taking care of the sharks. They hang out in the local bar and they right after dark.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, we had some people wondering, was it Sam's idea or Bobby's idea for Coach Bobby Petrino to be in the booth this year? And on the teleconference today, Sam confirmed it was Petrino's idea. Said, quote, Bobby actually approached me, felt like he could see the field better and be a better offensive coordinator up there. In your first year, you don't quite know your quarterback as well as you do after you've worked with them. I felt like Bobby wanted to be there with him a year ago, but I feel like he could do a better job upstairs with Morgan. That's the tight ends coach, also upstairs. So that's what we've been working in our scrimmage, and that's what we're going to do. So it sounds like it was Bobby's idea. He wanted to be up there. And I don't think Sam's going to tell him where he's going to be either.
Man, I was kind of hoping it would be a Jimbo relationship where you'd say, hey, Bobby, I know you're like one of the best offensive coordinators, but we're going to do it my way.
In watch.
Doesn't make any sense.
You think he's making the ACC network use his offensive lingo too this year?
Y'all are going to do this my way.
So I know exactly what Bobby's response would be. And we can't say it on the air.
That's funny. I remember even playing a soundbite from Petrino leading in. I think it was leading into the year, because I don't think the coordinators did media availabilities either when Jimbo was the coach. And I could go back and play it somewhere, but I remember all he said was, yeah, coach is a coach. It was like trying to tell you that he's a great coach. The coach is a coach, and just it was. You could, if you read between the lines these 2 years later, you can definitely get a sense that Petrino was not quite happy with having some of his fingers cut off.
Perturbed.
Yes, didn't sound like too pleased about it. Truthfully,
they'd be like, "Hey, we got Steph Curry on our team. No 3-point shooting. Okay, don't you even think about shooting a 3-point shot."
That's right. It's like this guy Nolan Ryan that might be on our pitching staff. We're not letting him throw very many fastballs. Just, why would we do that with somebody? Here's Pinto on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Pinto, what's up?
Well, not a whole lot, except you guys are killing me. I'm going to tell you. Last week I heard the dreaded, we look like an SEC team. Do you know how many times we've heard that in the past years?
Well, what does it mean?
And,
when you hear that, what do you think that means? We look like an SEC team.
It means we're bigger. That's all that means. We walk out there and we've got guys that have muscle. But here's the deal.
Pinto. How about if I tell you? Well, how if I tell you they're going to play like an SEC team?
Clay, you're the one last week that said they look like an SEC.
I didn't either. I have not said that. I have not said that.
Clay.
I have not said that.
Thought I heard it a plethora of times. Ooh.
A bevy of
right.
times.
A plethora. Man, you guys are
You get
killing
one a
me.
year. That was his one a year, Clay.
That's my one, yeah. But last week in a day where you weren't on, Clay, Matt said it on purpose too.
Whoa!
He said it.
Throw
He
me
knew
under
I
the
wasn't
bus.
there. I was in Wyoming. He knew he could get by with it.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry,
hear him
Pinto,
from
we just
there.
Went off on a little tangent there.
Yeah.
If it's Matt that's doing it, he also just got through telling us that Taylon Green can play on Sundays. Let me
He
tell
did
you
say
something.
that.
You don't think he can play on?
Taylon Green.
He didn't say whether it was the NFL or the CFL. Now I guess the CFL they play on
Well, he
different
may
days.
he may be playing out in his backyard. When he's going to get married and have a little kid, he'll be playing with his kid out in the backyard. Is what he'll be doing. Last year he locked in on one receiver. That's all he was worth doing. Now look what Tesla's doing. Matt, you yourself said Tesla's the most underused player last year that's ever been. You got guys like Satanga and Haas. They bailed. They said, we ain't sticking around for this guy. I'm open. I've been open all year, but he never got me the ball. So I don't think – I hope he plays on Sundays. I really do. But, dadgum, the closer it gets to game time, the more we are a world beater.
Well, and Pinto, that's what I mean about if you separate the physical attributes of being a quarterback and the subtleties of it, the complexities of it, the physical attributes, Taylon's got it all. I mean, he's got the arm strength, he's got the speed for a quarterback, the body type, height, absolutely. It's just there's so much more that goes into being a quarterback, and that's what we're about to hope we see this next year, is not locking in on one guy, utilizing more of your offense, maybe being a more on-target passer. I mean, there were some moments over the middle that got a little bit scary last year. And there's always going to be those ifs with college quarterbacks. But what I hear from Matt is he's not saying he's going to play on Sundays. He can. He has those physical attributes that you can't teach. It's just he's got to be a much more finely tuned quarterback.
Well, again, if we have the 13th, 14th best talent in the SEC, that's about how it's going to end up. And there's these permanent opponents. I hope we don't get Texas. If we get Texas, we're going to lose 8 out of 10 games.
Guess what, Pinto?
Yeah.
You're getting
What?
Texas.
I'm Clay. I'm getting so damn pessimistic. I'm in my old age. I can't take it anymore.
Come on, don't tell me right here on August 27th you're already looking forward to basketball season. Can we play a few football games first?
No. I love Razorback football. I would go to 10 Razorback football games before I'd go to
What's
one
your prediction,
Razorback
Pinto?
basketball game.
What's the record going to be this year?
I think we may win 7 games and then get a bowl and possibly win 8. But
That sounds like they look like an SEC team, Pinto.
yeah, well, it's because I listen to y'all.
So Pinto, when I go fishing, you could tell me, all right, there's a place over there they're dumping. That's where the truck's dumping in all the little trout from the hatchery. Now, that's not where I go to fish. I go to the trophy area where they don't dump in stockers, and there's not nearly as many fish. But I got a chance to catch a 30-inch fish. And it's going to be really, really difficult. And I might not catch a fish. But I'm going there every time.
If Spentler Rattler can
I
start
want
games
that. I
on
want that
the NFL on
chance.
Sunday, I know Taylon Green can start.
I want Texas, and it's going to be an all-day sucker. But when you win, it means something. I don't care if they play Alabama A&M or that doesn't mean anything. I want Notre Dame. I want Texas. I want
a 30-foot
Alabama.
fish. Absolutely. And I want Texas.
And
and you're going to get them.
I want
And
Ole
if
Miss
you
on the
don't
road
want
with
Texas,
3.
Yes.
if you don't want Texas, Pinto, you got no heart, dude.
I also, maybe the best way to put this, to go into this break here now, is if Spencer Rattler can be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
I know Taylor Green.
Taylor Green can be a starting quarterback.
Anthony
in the NFL
Richardson.
somewhere.
His comp is Brady Cook from Missouri. Look at Brady Cook's first couple years and what he did. Brady Cook just got signed to the New York Jets practice squad as a rookie, so he's going to be that'll be kind of the same.
That's a
thing.
start.
That'll be the same thing with Taylor Green.
Guys, we got a break right up against it. First, want to ask you about your Razorback closet. If it needs an upgrade, then make sure you check out the Arkansas Game Day collection at Rhoback.com. They have specially designed hoodies, polos, and Q-zips, all with Razorback logos on them, and you can check it out right now at Rhoback.com. It's RHOBACK.com. 20% off your first order. Just use the code RUSH25 at checkout. Rhoback is where action meets comfort. And back to wrap up hour number 2 right after this.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
This is halftime.
Do you love cooking and being a part of a great team? Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and I was talking to Linda Newmeyer the other day. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, Newmeyer's Rib Room, and Newmeyer's Whippoorwill are hiring kitchen staff. Stop by any of the 3 restaurants in downtown Fort Smith. I used to work at a pizza place back in the day. Maybe I give it a shot. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the Whippoorwill, and Rib Room. Apply today and join the Newmeyer family.
You're hired. Come back tomorrow at noon for training.
End of season savings are yours right now on Kubota hay equipment at Gray Brothers, including the new DM Series disc mowers, or try Kubota's DM Series trail mowers. And for the prettiest bale of hay on the market, try Kubota's VV Series round baler. With Gray Brothers' low pricing and great interest rates from Kubota, it's time for your new hay equipment. That's Gray Brothers equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home, quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Contractors, you've got jobs to win and customers to impress. That's why you choose Luxair HVAC systems, built for performance, efficiency, and reliability. And at J&B Supply, we've had your back since 1968. We're a local family-owned distributor that treats our customers like family too, with the products, expertise, and service you need to get the job done right. For over 50 years, HVAC and plumbing pros have trusted J&B Supply in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville. J&B Supply, where the professionals go.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
There was a doubleheader in August, and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
A new era of chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina Chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wraps in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Hey, good looking. What you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me?
Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe?
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Wrapping up hour number 2 here with a reminder. Tomorrow, Matt Jones and I are at Walmart on Mall Avenue in Fayetteville for a live edition of Halftime. That's tomorrow. And then at Rally House on Arena Village on MLK Friday. Tomorrow should be really, really cool because we're going to be at the Sports Center live desk. They'll have it up all throughout the month at the Walmart location on Mall Avenue in Fayetteville. You can actually just kind of sit there yourself, get a selfie, get a look at what the Sports Center desk looks like. But that's where we're doing the show tomorrow. And then first 200 people that are in line for later in the afternoon, there's going to be a meet and greet with Darren McFadden and Felix Jones and Peyton Hillis. So all month long, the ESPN experience at Walmart in Fayetteville. We'll be there a few times. Ruskin and Zach will be there a few times. And should be a heck of a lot of fun. We hope to see you there. And then Rally House, I know D-Mac will be there as well.
Those are
Friday.
studs. You know what else? They're really good people. All 3 of them.
Well, and
You'll
have all
enjoy
3
them.
of them in the same place, too.
You'll enjoy them. Yeah.
I know we're all looking forward to
The ultimate Razorback backfield, all there.
Man, all 3 in the NFL. 2 of them had 1,000-yard seasons in the NFL. It's kind of crazy to think
The
about.
face of McFadden. I'm sorry.
First cover athlete of Madden from Arkansas.
Madden. I was trying to say Madden, and I said McFadden.
That was Hillis, yeah. That
was Peyton, yeah.
Did he lead the NFL? Did he actually lead the whole league in rushing one year, wasn't it?
Well, he made 900, but I don't know if that led it. It was, he did. That was when he was Cleveland, I think.
I thought he had a year where he had over 1,600 yards. And
Don't remember that.
That's the kind of season where you're going to end up getting on the front. It was 1,177 in 2010, so it wasn't quite as much as I thought it was, and didn't lead the league in rushing either. But
that's enough.
The running style certainly, yeah, that's enough. Yeah, you get 1,000 yards in an NFL season. I don't care if it's in a 12-game, 14-game, 16-game, 17-game season. That means you have you've taken your lumps and probably handed a few out as well. You know, Brian brought this up earlier, Matt. Maybe we should do like a halftime college football Survivor Series with SEC teams only. See how far we get in through the year with that, where we would pick one school each week. You can't repeat, and that team has to win. And if they don't, you're out, and then the winner gets something, or the loser's got to do a punishment because everybody's all about the punishment.
Anything that involves the unit with the C haircut over here, I'm all in.
Wait, does he have brand new do?
He said he'll shave his head. I think we need to get the unit.
Ah.
I think we need to get it.
Ooh,
a challenge. A challenge.
Shave his head if what happens, Seaburger?
If the Hogs fumble
Arkansas
twice.
goes undefeated.
No, that's not enough. I thought it had to do with fumbling twice in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not recovered fumbles. It's if the ball hits the ground twice. Boy, I'm really fired up for next Tuesday's show because we don't have one on Monday. Fired up about that as well. Hour number 3 of halftime right after this.
Right now, someone in a Hardee's kitchen is about to make you a morning person. Loading up our omelet biscuit with sausage, ham, and applewood smoked bacon stacked on a fluffy made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Or making a home-style loaded burrito. All that breakfast in a tortilla with crispy hash browns. Good morning, morning person, from Hardee's Country. Download the app and join my rewards for 20% off any breakfast purchase of $10 or more. Registration and minimum $10 purchase required. See app for terms.
Hey everyone, Josh Earnhardt here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. Do you like doing business with local companies? Did you know that AAA Business Systems is one of only a few truly local office technology providers in Northwest Arkansas? Ask your current technology provider where their corporate office is, and let's keep your money in Northwest Arkansas. Buy local, support local. Call us today at 479-442-4185, and remember, anything else is just a copy.
When electrical needs pop up, don't get left in the dark. Call the local team that's trusted on and off the field. Harrison Electric. That's who homeowners and local businesses choose. Harrison Electric. Honest, dependable, and they leave no mess behind. From quick fixes to major upgrades, Harrison Electric is your go-to for all your electrical projects. Don't sit on the sideline with electrical problems. Get back in the game with the pros you can count on. Harrison Electric. Honest, quick, trusted. 652-3077.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest. He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, an increase in the cloud cover, chance of seeing showers and scattered thunderstorms high this afternoon into the low 80s. Showers and storms back with us tonight. Overnight low in the upper 50s to low 60s. Showers and storms with some heavy rain, especially across the north on Thursday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 3 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Well, can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Moving on into hour 3. This is halftime on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, still with a full head of hair, at least for the next 3 or 4 days, and Hall of Famer Clay Henry with us. We already have 2 bald hosts, Christian, so, that was involuntary for both of us. You may end up doing it in a very voluntary way. Matt, now I want Arkansas to fumble twice. I didn't want them to fumble at all going into Saturday's
As long as we
game.
recover it. Maybe we recover it, yeah.
I just want to get a picture of a bald C movie so I can call him C Bald from now on. Add another, onto the 101st nickname off of C. And then, Clay, that means, you're as part of the show as anybody else. You will have the most hair of anybody that's on this program. Congratulations.
I got a haircut yesterday, so I have a lot less than when I saw you Saturday. I'm not doing any of these challenge things. It's like, I just, they win the national championship, I mean, will I get a tattoo or something? Maybe.
Tell you what, here's what you do. If Arkansas goes 12-0 and wins a national championship, how about then you have to write a 5,000-word story about it?
I'll do that.
I think you'll do that anyway.
I have the publishing rights to the book, The Razorbacks, that my dad and Jim Bailey wrote. And there's been a second edition. If they win the national championship, there'll be a third edition. I'll do that.
There would have to be a third, yes. It would be one of the most surprising things to happen in the history of college football.
And it will sell. Yeah.
Anybody want to put Arkansas in as your Survivor Series team for this week? If you were to pick, how would you do that for week 1? If you're going to do a Survivor Series for the SEC, how are you doing that for week 1?
They don't qualify. Arkansas, you can't pick somebody that gets an FBS school.
That's like with our competition. It doesn't count if I'm sitting next to Sadie and she's driving.
You there we go. Similar.
That's a jamboree.
Similar.
How's that going, Phil?
We haven't done it for a couple of days. I've described this to Matt and the listeners at least once. I am not a nervous driver, but boy, am I a nervous passenger. I need a fake.
Have you said a bad word yet?
No, depends on what you think bad is.
Like the SH?
Maybe not that one. Might have been one of the other ones. It might have been more than whispered it too.
Like the concrete barrier that stops the water from coming down the river.
Holy Snikes.
No, it's never going to be directed at her, Christian. I mean, you can't do those sorts of things. But when somebody decides to stop in the middle of a 4-way intersection with a stoplight, I mean, what are you going to do? You got to get their attention somehow. So there's your answer, Clay. That's how it's going. We stopped in the middle of an intersection a week ago. Still working on getting on the highway at some point. Jim wants to know how you buy those books you were talking about. Texted in about it. Are those still available?
I think that Barnes & Noble has them. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, they're through UA Press.
There's a new book that's out, too.
But they haven't been updated since 95.
Right. Like I remember. So Jim wrote the Traveler's book. I still have it here. Here it is. This is the last time that the Travs book was updated. 90 years of Arkansas Traveler baseball. And I think they're going on about 130 years now. So, yeah, this book came out in 97. The history of the AA team in Little Rock. There's been quite a few seasons since then. Somebody needs to rewrite. You could do the same thing. There's a new book, too. There's a new Razorback book that's out. But Karen Van Horen compiled this. Did you see this, Clay?
No.
It's called Eat Like the Hogs. It's a cookbook.
Oh, yeah. I remember Chuck said that
you did a meatball
he was asked
recipe,
to do.
Right?
Yeah, and I asked if it was his recipe, and he wouldn't answer, which means it wasn't. If anytime somebody refuses to answer the question, it means no, it wasn't mine. But it means which is probably a good sign that it's really good that he got it somewhere else. It's not his recipe. Well,
I would hope he at least tested it. You're not going to give somebody a recipe if you've at least given the food the thumbs up, the taste test. We did Hanukkah latkes. It makes it the only Jewish recipe in the entire Eat Like the Hogs cookbook.
You did a chapter too?
Well, we did a recipe.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
It was me and the kids. We did
like Hanukkah, 2 pages.
Yeah. Hanukkah potato latkes that anybody can just work out in December. Looked like they had. I mean, it's like over 150 or 200 recipes or something. It's a big book. We'll use it for Hanukkah once we get to December. Why not?
I have Eddie Jackson's cookbook. I reviewed it in Hogs Illustrated. It is terrific, but the recipes are a little elaborate. Like every time I open up a chapter, or it's a 2-page deal, I look and there's none of the ingredients are in my pantry. So I mean, I'd have to start from scratch for every single item.
I love getting all these cooking videos too, and all of these amazing chefs make it look so easy to make something amazing. And then I have no idea what it is they're actually putting in these bowls. What's that red stuff? What's that green stuff? I don't know. It all seems to work and it all looks good on video. And then if I ever try to make it, it takes 5 hours to try to make this stuff. And nobody has that kind of time now. None whatsoever. Guys, you see Alabama and West Virginia have canceled their home and home series. I think
they had to.
Well, they did have to. I knew Alabama had to. West Virginia did not. And Alabama scheduled East Carolina in place of West Virginia. And I think what they're looking at now is Alabama's got this schedule where they had been planning for 8 SEC games and wanting to play 2 more Power 4 opponents. So they're going to be canceling 1 Power 4 game in the near future, and Oklahoma State's going to probably have to find somebody to schedule for 2028 and 2029, because Alabama in 28 has Ohio State and Oklahoma State on the schedule. In 29, Notre Dame and Oklahoma State. If you're Alabama, who do you want to play?
You're going to kick out the Cowboys.
You're going to kick out the team you probably beat no matter what, but then the other 2 teams who knows what they look like in 3 years and 4 years, but I think Ohio State and Notre Dame could win a game against Alabama. Maybe Oklahoma State can, but if you're looking for a win, what's easier, you keep Oklahoma State on the schedule. If you're looking to please your fans or at least make the TV partners a little more interested in it, you keep Ohio State and Notre Dame on the schedule, which of course is what you end up doing. But Alabama, West Virginia would have gotten some eyes. I mean, that would have been a fun game, the whole Rich Rod thing, and I mean, even attaching Saban to it with him coming from West Virginia and being the legendary Alabama coach. Arkansas will have to make a change in their schedule too. So will Florida. So will South Carolina. How many teams are actually going to go out and play 11 Power 4 games? Matt and I the last 2 days, Clay, have been trying to make a case. I don't know if it's make a case, but at least opinion about let's do away with the FCS game. If we're moving forward for better games at level competition, it may be time to do away with FCS. At least FCS against FBS as not a requirement, but as like you can do this, and of course everybody will. So we all want to see better games, and if you're scheduling more league games, why keep the FCS around? Is that on your schedule? Is that a matter of we got to give them something that's easier because this is such a tough sport, or is where we've got to keep FCS afloat or something? It just doesn't make sense to me. But, South Carolina has to play Clemson. That's a state law. Florida and Florida State, they're basically tied to each other until the end of time. They will always play each other. So how many years will Florida schedule Miami? Another game that people are interested in.
I figured that's where you were going. Yeah.
Well, like South Carolina's got Virginia Tech on the schedule this year. They got Clemson, too, in an 8-game SEC schedule. But they have their Power 4 opponent there for them until the end of time, too. Arkansas doesn't have to, I think ever worry about a place where they play 11 Power 4 games, but they'll play 10 because that's what everybody in the SEC will. I just hope they don't go along with more FCS.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm for that. I mean, I think that's a good thing. But the FCS thing, I think you could slide them off and it wouldn't matter. It is going to be a chance to make sure you get some playing time for your backups. KJ Jackson needs some time before they get into the season. And you remember they played 3 quarterbacks in that game last year.
Well,
UAPB.
Let me put this to you too, because this came up in a couple of questions to Sam about: do you want to play more quarterbacks? Does it really help? So they pointed to Malachi Singleton from last year, that he didn't have that deer in the headlights look against Tennessee. Well, I think at times he might have. Does it really?
The first series he did.
Yes, he did. Does it really help that you played a quarter or 4 series against UAPB or Alabama A&M later in the season? Does that really help against Tennessee or Texas A&M or anybody at this level?
I'll tell you where it helps, and it's not the actual game time. It is the last 2 weeks in practice telling him you will play a quarter or a quarter and a half in the first game. So we're grading you to make sure if you don't look good in practice, we'll play the next guy. And you prepare like you're going to play because you know that for sure in that game you're going to play. And the backup at Texas, as they're preparing for Ohio State the last 2 weeks, he doesn't think he's going to play. And he probably practices because he doesn't think he's going to play.
Sure.
Now, you want him to understand you're a turned ankle away from being in the game and you get ready. But I don't think that's how they look at it. They look at it, I don't think I'm going to play.
So if I'm going to go back here to this idea of a survivor pick for week 1 in the SEC and no jamborees, so that means you can't the schools that wouldn't be available for this are Arkansas, Florida. Florida's playing Long Island. I know Long Island had a team.
I didn't
look like they've got 40 players or something on their team photo. Let's see. Mizzou's got
Tennessee.
UCA.
Yeah.
We got
the Orangemen.
And then Vanderbilt and Charleston Southern. So that's 5. So who would you pick? A&M's got UTSA, Texas, Ohio State, Tennessee, Syracuse, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, Ole Miss, Georgia State, LSU, Clemson, Kentucky, Toledo.
So you got to
Georgia,
you're gonna
Marshall,
have to pick 14 of the 16 teams because there's 14 weeks, is what you're telling me, right?
Auburn, Baylor, and
you
Alabama,
can only use
Florida
them
State.
once.
Yeah, and no jamborees involved in this. So I want to honestly. I mean, you want to
What's
get
a jamboree?
Jamboree is FBS versus FCS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Preseason game.
It's like a preseason game. It's a term I'm stealing from Matt because I thought it worked pretty well.
I just
I just hadn't heard it. I just needed to know. Yeah.
Is this the week that you pick Mississippi State? This is the week.
Absolutely. You're looking for one, but it's also you got to hit your first week. You can't. You lose your first.
You're done.
So maybe you take a Texas A&M knowing that you don't get them again, but you gotta survive.
Trap game for the fighting Jeff Lebby's, Matt and Clay, because they're at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. It'll be pretty interesting. We'll see if we take Mississippi State. And oh, by the way, nobody can take the same team. You're not allowed to take the same team each week. 877-377-6963, Lewis Automotive Hotline. Which of the teams in week 1? You got to do this strategy-wise. Like, do not choose Georgia against Marshall. You want to pick Georgia later on in the year. I'd go with Mississippi State. Why not? Also, remember about the fence man. When it comes time for a fence that stands strong and stands out, the fence man always available at 479-782-3936. Serving our listening area for over 40 years, the fence man builds custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, high security, automatic gates as well. There's special 18-month financing available at the fence man. They're online at thefencemanar.com. And again, it's 479-782-3936 for the fence man. He ain't afraid of no work. Stay with us. Halftime returns right after this break.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
They say choice is the ultimate luxury, and now it's yours with Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 Classic Box, loaded with lavish classics, the $7 Supreme Box, packed with decadent faves, or the $9 Discovery Box, now featuring the indulgent cheesy street chalupas. That's Lux. For less. The $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge, and when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Does your Razorback closet need an upgrade? The University of Arkansas Game Day Collection is what you're looking for, only at Roback.com. They've custom designed the best hoodies, polos, and Q-zips for your school. Go check out this and more at Roback.com, and don't forget to use our link for 20% off. Use code RUSH25 at checkout on Roback.com for 20% off your first order. That's RHOBACK.com. 20% off all hoodies, joggers, and more with Rush25. Roback, where action meets comfort.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
Customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Agent Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Agent Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR. Grit is who you can trust.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Famer Clay Henry also with us here on Halftime as we take up to 2 o'clock. Quick pop quiz C-movie for halftime homework. What movie that you have been assigned is this song from? That you
in
just
this
played?
semester too. It wasn't like this
Is it
was two
the movie with
ago.
the rug?
The movie with the rug. See,
that
Matt,
the
I know
Big Lebowski?
I know the
The
movie
Big
he's
Lebowski,
talking
yeah.
about, but I would hope that he at least knows the title of the movie with the rug.
The Big
It
Lebowski.
brought a whole room. It brought the whole room together.
Woo! Thought you said this man was rich.
You see, part of the pop quiz should have been, what about the rug was the dude upset about that it got stolen away? There was a very specific reason why. He says it all throughout the movie. But
Hey,
the
at least I'm housebroken.
The song you just played, come on, you've seen this movie before. You need some hints?
Yeah.
Let's see. Matt gave you one in the commercial break. Charlie Sheen's dad is in it.
Alec Baldwin, Mark Wahlberg, Leo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson.
Takes place in Boston.
No.
Oh my gosh, what do we even do these things for? That would be, I don't know if you'd say it's the theme song. That's from The Departed. Do you remember?
The Departed.
Do you remember The Departed? Do you remember the movie The Departed?
Yes.
I don't.
This is like how does this happen? I can ask my son, who's a 7th grader, what happened at school today, and he'll tell me he doesn't remember. And I think legitimately he doesn't remember. It's like, how do you end up going through the day without really remembering what it was that you were doing?
Pops would ask, so when I was in high school, you'd go over to your girlfriend's house, to watch a movie. You had to go rent movies. So I'd just read the back of the movie, and he'd be like, what's the movie about? And I'd be like, that's what the movie was about.
It's better than any Cliff's Notes you ever tried for a test.
I don't know. We made out the whole time. What are you supposed to?
I guess we have to assign the movie all over again.
That's what I'm thinking, though. He's making out the whole time. That's the only rationale I can think of is that he's got to be making.
Well, he's triple watching. You know how everybody.
He's about to get married. They're still happy and stuff before before you get married. How you're still happy.
I give C married and I forget his intended's name. They'll get farther than Travis and Tay Tay. Do you have a reaction to the Clay to the nuptials, the impending nuptials of America's new royal couple?
I'm excited about this. I would like to go to that wedding.
It's probably going to be a pretty exclusive guest list.
I'm not going to get invited. You're saying, right?
I mean, it's not up to me whether or not. It was an exclusive guest list to the bar mitzvah over last weekend, so you made it to that. That's enough.
I did enjoy that.
I put a couple of these down here, and I was just wondering about the great athlete-singer marriages that did not work. Because DiMaggio and Monroe did not work, although DiMaggio went to his grave saying that was the love of his life. Marilyn Monroe was the love of his life. He never got over her.
Well, she was on a lot of barbiturates. It's hard, I think, to keep on to a relationship if one of them's doing a lot of things that are messing with their mind a little bit. I mean, they're already.
Well, and then there was the situation with Left Eye Lopez and Andre Rison.
Man, I should have brought weenies. You didn't think a car or a house would burn like that.
J-Lo and Alex Rodriguez.
That's right. Did they ever get married? Was that one of the marriages?
Oh, maybe they didn't. They just talked about it.
Maybe
and acted
Benifer.
like it.
I think Benifer was almost the marriage. They got engaged twice.
I think. I'm sure there are some of that. I've had a little.
Who was it
that
that Dennis Rodman married?
Madonna.
Oh yeah,
Carmen
That
Electra.
was really like a wedding.
That's the one.
No, I think that's right. It was Carmen Electra. She sang. So
She hung out with both of them. Yeah, he hung out.
Oh, she didn't sing. She made noises.
Depending on what time of the day, different noises. Carrie Underwood married to Mike Fisher, an NHL player. They're still going strong.
She dated your boy Romo I think Romo dated Chicken of the Sea girl.
Jessica Simpson.
Yeah. Jessica Simpson.
She didn't sing. She just made noises.
Sierra and Russell Wilson are still going strong.
Yeah.
Jessica Simpson and Eric Johnson, who played in the NFL. I don't know. I really don't remember who that was. Anyway, these are just a few of them that popped up here. David Justice. Yeah, but you only like a really pretty face, Christian, so we can't really get in on Hallie at all.
I mean, you can't really. Kate Upton, she didn't sing. She just a model, right?
They're still doing their thing, right? They're still, and then what
Yeah,
about
no,
your
they
boy,
are.
Verlander
right?
and Kate Upton.
But then your boy Wayne Gretzky's daughter, who's the golfer that's Dustin
Johnson.
Yeah.
You can. You're going to
He
be
didn't ever marry.
Going to be a Gretzky. You only marry somebody really famous.
Yeah.
It's happened twice now. Speaking of Verlander, you see he passed Walter Johnson on the all-time strikeout list yesterday, 9th all-time, now in front of Walter Johnson. Johnson was the Babe Ruth of pitchers back then. I mean, he had so many more strikeouts than anybody else. You'd think, well, the record's going to stand the test of time, but it's been passed up by 9 other pitchers. Babe Ruth is still what? I think he's 4th all-time in home runs. But the thing is that you wonder about somebody like a Walter Johnson who struck out all these batters in the 19 teens and 20s, probably with a fastball that was about 88, 89 miles an hour. And that, for that time, would have been a fastball that stands out.
Big train.
The big train, that's right. And it threw sidearm, too. And I don't think he threw anything except a fastball. And for a guy who set the record for strikeouts, Walter Johnson struck out only 15% of the batters he's faced. Verlander just passed him. Verlander has struck out 24% of the batters he's faced in his career.
That's not true. That has to be a misprint, Phil. That's like when you say Larry Fitzgerald didn't drop as many passes in his entire career as Terrell Owens did in one season. That's just a stat. You don't believe it. That is wild.
I did the math myself on the baseball.
24%
on
of
the base. And that's not even the at bats. That's either you walked him or you put the ball in play or you struck him out.
First ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Absolutely. I'll do the math for you again just in case I did it
no,
wrong.
I believe you. It's
He really did. So I think the record would be Randy Johnson, the big unit, struck out 28% of the batters he faced in his career as a starting pitcher. That's just stupid.
So of all the guys that I have seen, say on TV, I mean, I don't get to many major league games. That would be the guy that I would not want to face.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah. But first of all, he's what, 6'10"?
I'm scared out of my mind.
And when he lets go of the ball, that hand is on top of you. I mean, that stride. I mean, it's like it's faster than it really is because of the distance that it travels is really short.
Well, it's that term that Bubba brings up. The perceived velocity is different than the actual velocity of the pitch because the
timing is not.
You got to think of
enough.
how close the ball's released to the plate, and that that lessens the amount of time you have to react.
So all you have to do is watch batting practice, and the guy throwing batting practice is scooted up to the edge of the pitching mound because it doesn't have to be so. The velocity is going to be perceived distance is. I'm stumbling around for the words. You say it, Phil.
The perceived velocity.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's I expect Verlander's done after this season. It seems, from the All-Star game and everything, I think Kershaw will be done by the end of this year. Scherzer's the last one left. These are three pitchers all over 3,000 strikeouts, and you got to be around a long time to be able to get to that number. You just wonder how many pitchers are actually going to be around that long to do it.
Phil, something dynamic happened last Friday that affects my favorite Razorback Major League Baseball player.
That's James McCann, right?
Yeah, they cut their backup catcher when their Hall of Famer came off the DL and kept McCann instead of their backup. And the manager explained it, said it's really brutal. But Herrera's very popular, but all their pitchers wanted McCann because of the way he handles them, the way he prepares. And there's a long story in Arizona Diamondback SI. You can go look it up. That he explains the logic and why they wanted McCann and why their pitchers wanted McCann. Said it was a tough decision. They let go a very popular fan catcher, which probably means McCann's going to play again next year for them.
Yeah,
he played for what, $800,000 this year. He'll get a bigger contract next year.
You think about the idea of the relationship between different positions on the field in a different sport and the trust factor that goes along with it and why somebody can stick around for so long, especially playing a position that's so physically and mentally taxing like a catcher, and pitchers and catchers have to be on the same page. It's the same idea as a quarterback and anybody on that offensive line too. And the thought that if this guy's been doing this for this long, like a Jason Peters, Matt, how does somebody stick around for that long? Even not reporting to training camp for what about the last 3 or 4 years of his career? And it's because of the reputation that he's got. And then you get him there, like McCann, before he got to Arizona, already has this reputation. And I'm sure the pitchers on that team are thinking or talking to themselves, well, I'm interested to see what it's like to actually throw to this guy. And then you do, and it hits you. It's like, gosh, I love what this is like. We're on the same page. We're vibing, like kind of going out on a date for the first time, and you notice it. It's got to be the same thing with offensive line, too, that trust factor and just the thought of being on the same page. And when you're not. You can tell when you're not, and your play is affected by it.
They ran the analytics, and their pitching staff ERA dropped when McCann was catching.
Yep. That's how a catcher is going to stick around in the big leagues for a long, long time. And that's how you eventually become a manager,
and
too.
And they talk about the preparation that he did behind the scenes to prepare the pitchers for who they were going to face. And I've read some stuff. Someone did an interview with James when he was with Baltimore, and he went through. They just throw out a name. I mean, rapid fire, and he would would tell you exactly how you got him out.
No, that's
you know,
the
like
that's
200 players in the major leagues, and he didn't have to look it up.
Clay, that's the kind of stuff where you think about like a Stephen Vogt going from retirement straight to a managerial career.
He's going to do that.
Would have never happened. 30, even 20 years ago. I mean, you would get a chance to be a major league coach and maybe, work in the minor leagues as a manager and everything. But no, you get guys now that literally go from retirement to the managerial job. And I think McCann could end up being one of those guys.
Yeah, if he wants to.
Or head coach in college, although that goes along with relearning the college game. So that might take a little bit more time to, ramp up to get used to what it's like to put the whole team together. So the more I think of it, the more I think McCann would be a major league manager before he'd be a college head coach.
The travel gets you though.
Yeah, it does.
When you got teenage boys, and his boys are not teenage now; they're at grade school. But hey, he's one of my heroes, and I don't use that term loosely. So I was paying attention and reading that. Their manager and GM talked about how he talked to players in the locker room, in the dugout, and the ability to go to the mound, in the middle of an inning and calm a pitcher down and give him exactly what he needs to get back on pace.
It's like the idea of the does the pitching coach ever need to be right in front of his eyes, fire him up? No, that's sometimes what the catcher can end up being for in some cases. We're in the home stretch here on a Wednesday. Our Lewis Automotive hotline is 877-377-6963. Hey, do you have Bet Sarazen on your phone? Bet Sarazen right now is starting up the NFL Survivor Series. It's exactly what you're thinking all throughout the NFL season. You pick one NFL team per week. If you win, you advance. If you lose, you're out. Great prizes when it's all said and done. On the Bet Sarazen app, it works on your Apple iPhone. Just download from the App Store. Any Android users, you can download Bet Sarazen from Google Play. Go to the web browsers or it's betsarazen.com. And we're back with more halftime right after this.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is halftime.
At the Bet Sarazen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Sarazen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money. So he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
The big Gelco Outdoor Summer Clearance Sale is going on now. Summer clothing by Ariat, Drake, Under Armour, Wrangler, and more. Men's and women's clothing now 50% off. Select Western boots by Ariat, Justin, R. Watson, Durango, and Twisted X, 50% off. Lazy Man box blinds for hunting season. Save hundreds of dollars off. Don't miss the 50% summer clearance sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HAWK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HAWK to 321-321. That's HAWK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Family owned and operated since 1950, Crabtree RV Center is proud to have served the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for 75 amazing years. From a small dealership on Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith to 17 acres located at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, Arkansas, Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, and parts. Come celebrate 75 years with us and take advantage of spectacular savings all year long. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Keeping cheerful. I want expensive standards. Hospital bills go wrong. Open doors to madness. I want you to be crazy 'cause you're bored, baby, when you're straight. I want you to be crazy 'cause you're stupid, baby, when you're sane. Take a social graces, show you utility, load you cool in public, take the lead on me, 'cause love is just a dialogue, you can't survive on ice cream, you got the same needs as the dog, it's alright to be me, to be me. It's alright to be me, to be me.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry, as well, as we wrap up here on our home stretch. Matt and I, Clay, got in earlier in the show about the 18 Razorbacks that will open up on NFL rosters for this season. Again, it's probably more 16 because you got a couple who are going to begin the year on IR, short-term IR for Drew Sanders at Denver, John Ridgeway, IR, eligible to return with the Saints. But Hjalte Froholt, Cardinals, Felipe Franks, Atlanta, Landon Jackson with Buffalo, Dre Greenlaw, Drew Sanders, Denver, Jake Bates, Isaac Tesla, Detroit, Cam Little, Monteric Brown, Jaguars, Cam Curl, Bo Limmer, Rams, Dwight McLaughlin, Vikings, Hunter Henry, Patriots, John Ridgeway, Saints, Brandon Allen, Titans, Dietrich Wise, Commanders. I even threw in Chris Paul, the Commanders as well, after he got cut by the Rams. Washington signed him. And then there's Eric Gregory with the Cincinnati Bengals. He is a undrafted free agent to make the 53-man roster. Admittedly, as Matt did point out, and he's right, it was a really poor defense for Cincinnati last year. But that's outstanding for Eric. And really, you're looking at what you're replacing from last year's defensive line. Got a couple of NFLers that you're replacing. We knew Landon would make it. We weren't quite sure about Eric Gregory, but there he is.
How about Brandon Allen?
Yeah. Titan-
keep
Titan
on
Henry.
keeping on.
Him and Hunter Henry both have a decade now. Or
Yep.
Brandon Allen at 9? I thought he's close to 10. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's just, to me, it is just
coach's son.
It just kind of gives me chills to think about it. Fayetteville High, and I just remember him as a little kid. You know, when Bobby first got there, you know, practice was over, and here are all these little boys. There were 3 boys and a little girl. You know,
We had Brandon, Austin, and then Little H. You know, you had
Christian. There's Christian too.
Well, I'm saying Houston Nutt's
Oh, yeah,
boy
yeah,
was
yeah.
there. Then you had Roy Wicky's boy that was there. They were all kind of the
They're all
same
there.
age, and they were
Yeah.
all running. Yeah.
Yep, it does my heart good, and I mean, Brandon is just a terrific person, and I remember when, you know, his truck got messed up, and you just like, man, what are people thinking? But it's he's made enough to buy plenty of trucks now.
I was looking at some of the list of the greatest undrafted free agents of all time. This is found a CBS Sports article. Kurt Warner, obviously, Hall of Fame. John Randall, one of the great defensive ends of all time. Warren Moon was undrafted.
CFL, well, he went CFL.
He went straight to the CFL, yeah.
So
Warren-
Jim Kelly would be then too, because he was a gambler, wasn't he? Didn't he go USFL first?
But I don't know if he was drafted by
Herschel
an
Walker would've
NFL
been
team
with
and
the-
just
yeah.
decided to do USFL. And that's part of that era. You're right. Donnie Shell, one of the great members of the Steelers secondary in the Steel Curtain, was undrafted. Antonio Gates. Nobody saw that coming, right? Adam Vinatieri. We're going to go with kickers, too. Jake Bates was undrafted. So there you go. I know it wasn't Little. Was he a 6th-round pick or something? Because he was drafted. He was not a free agent. Larry Little, interior lineman, Chargers, Dolphins, late 60s into the 70s. Jason Peters, they've got him listed at number 8. James Harrison, and Drew Pearson, one of the great wide receivers of his time. All undrafted free agents. You know, and some of this is now it's a 7-round draft. I think when Pearson was coming out and Donnie Shell and a lot of these guys from the 70s, it was more than 7 rounds. So, you know, needles in the haystack, to say the least. What about Eric Gregory? Do you like it for an NFL player, for a defensive end or defensive line? That's the thing, too, because he played both interior and on the outside.
Big and
at
athletic.
Arkansas. Yeah.
Big and athletic. I mean, he started out as a defensive end and kind of grew into 3 technique. But you knew the first time you saw him on the practice field, I mean, it's kind of like, you remember Yelda Froholt, the first time you saw him, it's like, man, he's just a block of granite. I don't know whether he can react fast enough to go run down a running back. And that was, you know, he started out as a DT, nose tackle. As soon as they moved him to guard, you know, it's like, that's his spot. He's going to play. I've seen some videos, some workout videos that he's posted on Facebook or whatever, that, you know, I guess Reels, and he calls himself the Desert Viking.
Oh, I like that.
Kind of cool. Yeah.
I like that nickname a lot. I was looking at, you know, Sampson led the SEC in rushing last year. He was a 4th-round pick of Cleveland, and he is on the team, so he made the team. Probably get some carries if Quinshon Judkins is not going to be signing a contract. So you do have the SEC's leading rusher last year. That's on an NFL roster, but not the leading receiver in Andrew Armstrong, who was cut by the Dolphins yesterday. Well, I assume practice squad for Armstrong or somebody else may pick him up. But, yeah, he and Broden both got cut yesterday. And, of course, Tesla, we knew he was going to make the Lions, not only because of where they drafted him, but the way he was playing in the last month. Guys, we got a phone call from William in Lafayette, and then we'll break. William, how you doing?
Doing good. How y'all doing today?
We're good, thank you. What's up?
Eric Gregory. I think Steve Caldwell, the best evaluator of defensive line talent we've had up there in a long time. Go Hogs. Y'all boys have a good one.
Thanks, William.
He's right. Steve Caldwell, I mean, I think there was, can't remember what year it was, but he had 3 or 4 defensive ends committed, and he walked into Bobby Petrino's office that last weekend and said, I want one more. And he goes, well, tell me about him. He says his name is Trey Flowers, Huntsville, Alabama. and he was the last player committed on a Sunday night. You got to give Steve Caldwell credit for that.
I think William just did. Absolutely. Let's break. Back to wrap up halftime for this Wednesday in just a moment.
They were so convincing in their argument. They swung me.
This is halftime.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Looking for the perfect gift that's personal and powerful? The Solid Rock has you covered. From custom laser-engraved cutting boards and coasters to travel mugs and keepsakes. Each piece is made with care and personalized just for your special occasion. Whether it's a wedding, birthday, anniversary, or just because. They help you give gifts that inspire. Engraved with names, scriptures, or messages that honor Christ. Shop The Solid Rock, located next to Sam's Club on South 74th and Fort Smith. The Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 49 years.
At Arvest Bank, we believe small businesses are the backbone of communities. Whether you're just getting your business off the ground, planning for future growth, or managing the day-to-day, we want you to thrive. That's why we help businesses of all kinds find their strength. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737. 800-606-8737.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
You got to. You got to. You got to. You got to. Tape ain't gonna fix it, honey. It ain't gonna stick. Tape ain't gonna fix it, honey.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Well, Arkansas football will have a bye week. The weekend of November the 8th, and guess what's happening on November the 8th? Arkansas and Michigan State playing basketball in East Lansing, just released by the basketball program a few minutes ago. So the home and home is official. It'll be in East Lansing November the 8th, a Sunday. Is that a Sunday? I think it's a Saturday. And then the Spartans come to Fayetteville in 2026.
It's a Sunday. The 8th
Sunday.
The 8th is a Saturday. I'm sorry, Phil. 8th is a Saturday.
Good day for college basketball. Very good. So you've already made your plans because you knew these teams were playing. You just didn't know the day, and it's not going to be on a football game day. That day does have Alabama LSU. That'll be a good one. November the 8th. You actually get a lot of buys that week. Arkansas, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas are off that week. So it's a good week for scheduling interesting college basketball games. And, oh, by the way, maybe by the end of the day, Fox and YouTube will have this thing figured out. It looks like they've got another 2 hours until the deadline to have Fox still available on YouTube TV, I guess, for tomorrow. And then by tomorrow, maybe they can figure things out and jack your price up by another $10 so that you can watch Texas and Ohio State on Saturday. Or just get the bunny ears and over the air, which can you get over the air TV signal where you live, Clay?
I've never tried.
You might be the time
I
to try.
think so. I think you can. I think you'd have to. Springfield, that's what we get on our TV, but it's through DirecTV. But I mean, more and more, I'm doing streaming stuff. Because if you're streaming, you can pick out the news channels that you want by you enter your zip code.
For cable subscribers, any satellite subscribers, or any other streamers, if you get it through Sling or whatever,
YouTube,
Fubo, but YouTube TV is the company that Fox has this impasse with, and man, a lot of cord cutters have gone in that direction, specifically to YouTube TV. And you never think that this gets to a place where you miss games, but I think that's happened. I don't remember which one it was. It was a year ago or 2 years ago. There were games that were missed. I think YouTube said that they're going to give customers like a $10 credit. That would be a small little drop in the bucket for subscribers who, a lot of them basically subscribe at this time of the year just to watch football and for no other reason. It's these people that'll end up getting on the ESPN direct-to-consumer app, but that will not involve Fox. So they may end up some people that are completely out of luck, out of luck to watch this game that I think everybody's going to want to watch. All right, Clay, but when we get with you again, we'll have, maybe we'll have some
game to talk about.
We'll have a game to talk about.
Yeah, we can talk about, how good is Texas? How good is Ohio State?
Yeah, how good is Long Island, too, right?
I think we know.
Yeah, I was told. Yeah,
I mean, the only thing that you want to really say with Long Island is T.
I just enjoy how people from Long Island pronounce it. There's no place, if you're from Long Island, there's no place called Long Island. It's called Long Island. And make sure you overpronounce the G, and it's Island. Ron Cooper is the head coach at Island. At LIU, and used to be a coach at Arkansas. Good information, Chris in Fayetteville. Good stuff to wrap up the show with. Ruskin and Zach are coming up in a few minutes, and our Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast has the highlights available at any moment. We'll have Clay next Tuesday and Wednesday, and me and Matt and Christian are back with you tomorrow. Remember, Matt Jones and I are at Walmart in Fayetteville on Mall Avenue tomorrow for the ESPN Experience. We'll be broadcasting right from the Sports Center live desk. That's going to be unique. It's going to be fun. Come out and see us at Walmart on Mall Avenue tomorrow and get a look at the ESPN Experience while you're there. For Matt Jones, Clay Henry, Kristen Johnson, I'm Phil. That's halftime. Get up, get out, get better.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy